Welcome to HistoricHole. My name is David, and this week I am joined by Got Milk.
Bow, 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 bow.
Baki can't join us.
Nope. Empty chair.
Empty chair. Just a reminder. Anyway, this week's topic. Yeah,
This is a
in memory.
placeholder.
In loving memory. We also got the new mask up here featured of a dog mask. The mask collection grows. So now we got 3 masks.
It's getting a little scary in here.
It's going to be like really interesting on Halloween if we all just wear the masks. No one cared about me until I put on the mask, right? Somebody said.
No one cared about. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, Bane. Can't understand a goddamn word Bane says, but you know what? Anyway, let's get down to it. All right, our topic today is Charles Manson. I don't think I actually said the topic before when I brought up the topic. So the topic is Charles Manson. What about Charles Manson? Well, you know, the guy, the man. Son.
The Manson.
Man, he was obviously a guy, prolific, but never actually killed anybody himself.
What?
Nope.
I thought he was a serial killer.
Nope. He convinced other people to do his bidding, but I don't believe he was actually. I mean, he was directly ordering the deaths of people here, so he was responsible for it just as much as the people that were doing it. That's what the jury thought.
That's what the jury thought.
Victims 9+ murdered by proxy.
By proxy.
By proxy. That means he had somebody do it for him.
Do it for him.
Do it for him.
That's a very mafia leader thing to do. That's a very short person in power thing to do.
Yeah, right.
How tall was he?
5'2".
5'2".
Right?
So this little man,
5'2".
he just gives the word and he's sending out hits. Bow, bow, bow.
Just unreal.
Proxy death.
Yeah, well, that's what he did with the, that was obviously the Sharon Tate murder, the Tate, old, well, not old. I mean, she was pretty young. I'm pretty sure when that all happened. Yeah, really sad, really unfortunate. Where should we start with this motherfucker? This evil motherfucker. Should we just start at the beginning, early life?
So, yeah. Let's start there. Because I want to know, I've always seen him in the pictures of, he's already been in jail. I've never known, did he have a cult, area he would go to?
Well, they had
leave these people in?
Spawn Ranch was where they hung out. That was where the family all congregated, which was I think what it was an old...
Is it a cemetery?
It's
probably a cemetery.
I can probably find the description of it here, but it's I think it was owned by an old stuntman or something like that, and he convinced him to let them use the land. I'm gonna look Spawn Ranch up here.
When I think of Spawn, I think of that superhero.
Spawn Ranch. Here we go. Manson established a base for the family at Spawn Ranch in August 1968. 86. God, 68. After Wilson's landlord evicted them. It had been a television and movie set for westerns, but the buildings had deteriorated. By the late 1960s. The ranch then derived revenue primarily from selling horseback rides. Female family members did chores around the ranch and occasionally had sex on Manson's orders with the nearly blind 80-year-old owner, George Spawn.
Holy shit.
The women also acted as guides for him. In exchange, Spawn allowed Manson and his group to live on the ranch for free.
Holy shit. Do you know what this is? This was the inspiration for what is that movie with A Nightmare in Hollywood, or what is it called?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
That's exactly...
Yeah, that's the Manson
This is the
family.
inspiration.
Yeah, the Manson family.
Holy shit.
Margot Robbie plays Sharon Tate, which is the first victim of the Manson family. But so in Tarantino's version of it, he's like changes the events.
Okay, I had no idea that was the inspiration, but I heard it was an empty ranch where like hippies live and they give horseback rides for money, and I was like, holy shit, that's that.
Yep, that's exactly.
And then you
what
just
it is.
kept saying.
So yeah, they that obviously Once Upon a Time in Hollywood deviates from history, like what actually happens.
Yeah.
But that's what's fun about Tarantino's sort of those movies, because like Inglourious Bastards kind of does a similar thing. Charles Miles Maddox was born November 12th, 1934.
He wasn't originally a Manson?
Ashland, Kentucky. I guess not. Let's see. Manson's biological father appears to have been Colonel Walker Henderson Scott Sr. Okay. Of Catletsburg, Kentucky, against whom Maddox filed a paternity suit that resulted in an agreed judgment in 1937.
Paternity suit?
Scott worked.
What's that?
I guess that's when you sue somebody and it's like, hey, you're the dad, and they're like, no, I'm not, but
Okay,
that sort of thing.
understood.
Like they go on Maury, and he reads
I was
that.
gonna say.
You are not the father, and then they do the dance. So I guess let's see. Manson was placed in the home of an aunt and uncle in McMecken, West Virginia.
He was on the East Coast.
I'm the worst at pronouncing fucking names, by the way.
I always thought he would be like San Francisco or something.
Well, he eventually gets out there, but
Oh, it does go. Okay.
yeah.
But he's from West Virginia, obviously.
Yeah, well, he was placed
No
in the
offense,
home.
but that's where all the fucked up people come from.
No offense, but you produced Charles Manson. His mother was paroled in 1942. Manson later characterized the first weeks after she returned from prison as the happiest time in his life. Weeks after Maddox's release, Manson's family moved to Charleston, where Manson continually played truant, and his mother spent her evenings drinking. Sounds like a great childhood. She was arrested for grand larceny, but not convicted.
Oh, shit.
She
Not convicted.
Got out of it. The family later moved to Indianapolis, where Maddox met alcoholic Lewis Woodson, Cavender Jr., through Alcoholics Anonymous, and married him in 1943. So, first offenses. In an interview with Diane Sawyer.
Hold up. True love found at AA. That's amazing.
That's his mom. Did that. Crazy.
That's worse than Tinder.
Hey, that was what
damn.
she had back in 1970, whatever, or 1942, or whatever the fuck it was. She did that. All right, first offenses. In an interview with Diane Sawyer. So Diane Sawyer got the scoop. Manson said that when he was 9, he set his school on fire.
What?
Oh, okay.
God damn, child.
Pretty sure I tried to do that, but I wasn't successful. So, I'm like Charles Manson. That's not good.
I tried to do it on my own time, but I didn't set a building on fire. It was just like an anthill or something.
I was a fucking arsonist when I was growing up. I was bad. Manson also got in trouble for truancy and petty theft. Although there was a lack of foster home placements in 1947, at the age of 13, Manson was placed in some school for boys in Indiana. God damn it! I hate fucking these names. Go look it up on Wikipedia if you want like all the gritty details. But like we're just blowing through this right now. A school for male delinquents run by Catholic priests. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
It's a good old recipe for a serial killer right there. Alcoholic mom, no dad.
Catholic priests.
Stepdad through AA. Lives with his aunt and uncle, then goes straight to delinquency camp.
Tries to set a school on fire. Goes and hangs out with priests. God knows what.
Damn. God knows what they did.
For a time, Manson had a job delivering messages for Western Union in an attempt to live a life free of crime. Crime-free. He tried to run.
He tried to sober
the straight and narrow. The straight and narrow, man.
It was a hard few years. He did his best.
He tried. However, he quickly became He quickly. I just fucked this sentence up so bad.
Delinquency.
However, he quickly began to supplement his wages through petty theft. He was eventually caught, and in 1948, a sympathetic judge sent him to Boys Town, a juvenile facility in Omaha, Nebraska. After 4 days at Boys Town, he and fellow student Blackie Nielsen obtained a gun and stole a car. They used it to commit 2 armed robberies on their way to the home of Nielsen's uncle in Peoria, Illinois. Nielsen's uncle was a professional thief, and when the boys arrived, he allegedly took them on as apprentices. Manson was arrested 2 weeks later during a nighttime raid on a Peoria store. In the investigation that followed, he was linked to his 2 earlier armed robberies. He was sent to the Indiana Boys School, a strict reform school.
So what is this? His third one after he did some El Chapo escape with his friend, stuck up another dude, and then went to go meet this Sith Lord uncle that would raise him in his evil ways.
Right? I know, right?
Show him the dark side.
Not from a Jedi.
Do it.
So,
Do it.
yeah, right? And then gets him in fucking trouble, and then he goes back to reform school.
Was that the third one or the second one? Reform school.
So Boys Town was the one that he was sent to.
That's the last one.
That was the one he was in before. That
Shit.
he obtained the gun and stole a car, and then went to Blackie Nielsen's uncle.
Okay.
So and then he was sent to the Indiana Boys School,
Mhm.
and that's the next one. And then at the school, other students allegedly raped Manson with the encouragement of a staff member, and he was repeatedly beaten. He ran away from the school 18 times.
18 times? God damn.
He was 5'2". It's just like, get the fuck out of there.
Little motherfucker runs through the bars.
Like a mouse, just like shooting around. Well, at the school, Manson developed a self-defense technique he later called the insane game, where he was when he was physically unable to defend himself, he would screech, grimace, and wave his arms to convince aggressors that he was insane.
Sounds like a 5'2" response to anything, really.
It's just like they got his fucking McDonald's meal wrong. That's just my reaction. Honestly, yeah. This is how I react to service workers, people. Come on. All right. After a number of failed attempts, he escaped with 2 other boys in February 1951. The 3 escapees were robbing filling stations while attempting to drive to California in stolen cars when they were arrested in Utah. For the federal crime of driving a stolen car across state lines, Manson was sent to Washington, D.C.'s National Training School for Boys. God damn, we give boys a lot of chances here. I'm not going to lie. We're giving Manson a lot of chances.
He escaped
And
one
he
of them
still turned it into a
18
cult
fucking
leader.
times.
He just tried to escape 18 times and eventually was successful.
Shit, maybe one of these will work. We'll just send him to the next one.
It's just like, all right, dude, federal crime, well, you're going to the National Training School.
Do they just not check up with the last boys' school? They don't have a record on him? Or, like, not the right record?
I mean, I'm sure they probably... Honestly, though, you know, in that movie, have you seen Zodiac? The David Fincher movie. So in Zodiac, they kind of bring this up, and I think that took place in the 60s. So, like, this is before then. Something that they do bring up is, at least with police departments, and this is probably true for other things at the time, there was no coordination between, like, departments, basically. So, like, you have, like, you know, a county department and then a city department, and you have 2 different murders in these areas that are similar and have things that are connected, but they don't, like, ever communicate this shit with each other. You know what I mean? And
I
or
guess
they
I
just
can see that.
You know what I mean? And so, like, there's probably something similar here. They might have, like, some info on him, but they probably don't have, like, you know, everything. But on arrival, he was given an aptitudes test, which determined that he was illiterate, but had an above-average IQ of 109. His caseworker deemed him aggressively antisocial. So, yeah.
That's a little bit of an understatement, if you ask me.
Aggressively antisocial. You know, just aggressively antisocial. So, let's jump back to his first imprisonment. So these boys' schools, you know what I mean? They're really just giving him
Boys'
all the
schools didn't work
chances
for him.
in the fucking world, and he still manages to fuck
What
it
I
up.
want to know what got him caught up that he actually got into prison.
All right, so here we go. On a psychiatrist's recommendation, Manson was transferred in October 1951 to Natural Bridge Honor Camp, a minimum security institution. His aunt visited him and told administrators she would let him stay at her house and would help him find work. Manson had a parole hearing scheduled for February 1952. However, in January, he was caught raping a boy at knife point. Manson was transferred to the Federal Reformatory in Petersburg, Virginia. Hey. Where he committed a further
Hey, that's us.
Yeah, Petersburg represent. Shout out Petersburg. 8 serious disciplinary offenses, 3 involving homosexual acts. Wow.
God damn. So he did do a lot of shit for them to finally put him in an actual prison.
He was
minimum security.
He was then moved to a maximum security reformatory in Ohio, where he was expected to remain until his release on his 21st birthday. So this is all before he's fucking 21. In November 1955, good behavior led to an early release in May 1954 to live with his aunt and uncle in West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, Jesus Christ. This, like, no, but according to people, I guess he was very charismatic. You know, it's the good behavior thing makes sense, right? Like, he just knew how to sweet talk everybody to get what he fucking wanted. It's probably what helped him escape shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he would, like, get out, you know. This motherfucker, you know,
He's been in out of boys' schools since he was, what?
So he was born
Middle school, high school?
So he was born in 1934. And then I think he was, let's see, when was the first one?
But point is, he's been in institution since a kid. And then before he's 21.
Oh yeah, you're right. He was in he was in 3 schools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then when
The
he
Catholic
finally
priests.
gets to like almost 21,
At age 13, yeah. I went
it
to the
seems
first
crazy
school.
being on the outside and like thinking about someone like raping someone. And then you think like, I'm pretty sure like most people that go through the institution, like the system, have an experience of like seeing it or being around it.
Oh, I'm sure.
And then to realize that he went through institutions like that his entire life and was raised with Catholics.
Yeah, just
Like-
like on top of that all. Yeah. No, for sure. And then like
There's no excuse for it at all,
no.
but you kind of see why his whole life was kind of like going in that direction. My bad.
Oops.
But yeah,
No, right? Like
Holy shit.
You see that the build up here of all the things. And two, you got to think, you know, these boys schools are all housing other troubled youth. And they're all
they
just
said
cramming
that
them together.
He got raped in one of the boys' schools.
Yeah. Allegedly. I don't know if that
Allegedly,
I think it
but-
said allegedly in the description. But still,
It seems like a pretty good fucking probability.
yeah, this was so you're shoving like all of these troubled kids together. Yeah, I mean, this is what's gonna fucking happen. What do you think's gonna happen? God, that's just like the worst thing, to think about, like how fucked up that of a life that's got to be.
It happens on the inside, but if a lot of those people were out, they would be doing it on the outside.
And I think in a lot of these cases, right? Like if like any big true crime fans here, go through serial killers' early lives, a lot of the times it's really troubling stuff. There's like a lot of traumatic, troubling shit. So I think that's just kind of the case. But I'm not trying to make excuses, but like you just see the influence on their early life. Yeah, you're just like, how could you even form a fucking stable relationship with the world? Like if you're getting fucking raped and shit, like, and you have no like fucking, at 13 you're already in like fucking schools and away from parents and like that sort of normal dynamic.
Yeah.
normal in the sense of average.
When people talk about Manson, it's like he was some crazy cult leader and he killed 4 people, got 4 people to get murdered. But that's so far away from like my lane of understanding that it doesn't even make sense that he's human. Like that he could do something crazy like that.
Right.
But then you understand like my life split from his life way down the line when he was a kid.
Oh yeah.
So
Just an experience is so different. Like it's hard to fathom. Because that's what it is, it's like I think that's what's intriguing to a lot of people about true crime is like you're thinking, how can people do something so fucking terrible? Like how could you do that? And like you kind of try to, because our brains, like if you're just I want to say regular, moral, not psychopath person, you'll struggle with it. Like you kind of breaks your brain a little bit because you're a rational person. You try and rationalize something so terrible, you can't do it. Like it's just because it's not rational. You know what I mean? Like these people
it has no place in it. Like I hear that and I'm like, what are you talking about? What? How could that happen? Like what? That sounds like a movie plot. Someone just made that up.
Yeah, like
there's no way someone thought through and did that.
Like how could that possess? Like how could somebody be possessed to do something so you know what I mean? Because like you gotta think, like, but too, that might just be coming from a place of like people who say those are like place of comfort and privilege, right? Like that you can just be like, oh well, I can't even fucking fathom why somebody would. And it's like no, I mean, I understand there's like killing to survive. There's only so many resources. Like okay, that's a different fucking thing. Like that's a whole different scenario. We're talking about psychopaths here, like people that do sadistic, awful things to innocent people that have done nothing wrong. There's something about that, and there's something I think that's why there's true crime fucking industry is so big. It's like built around basically, all this terrible stuff because of people's fascination and people's inability to just process it. So we kind of just it's almost like a drug. Yeah, you get like high off of it. It's like, you can't, you just kind of dwell and obsess. It's something that you can obsess over, you know what I mean? Yeah. Some of these cases are just so awful. So anyway, but the kind of the point I'm getting at is, so try not to think too hard about it. It's like, because like a lot of these cases, like people are just doing horrendous things and there's no rationality behind it. Like there's no like, oh, how could you figure out their motive? What's their motivation? It's like their motivations aren't like fucking, oh my God, I gotta like, do X, Y, and Z to make, it's like they're not thinking it through in a logical thing here. Like it's oftentimes these are like crimes that are driven by like emotions and like deep-seated weird shit in people that like psychologists have a field day with. So
yeah,
just rambling at this point about it, but still fucking true crime is, I honestly too, there's something, this is a little weird. The true crime thing has blown up so much. I do think there's an element of people fucking taking advantage of people, you know what I mean? Or taking advantage of these stories, it's like, these horrible things that have happened to people.
But they're real people, and like the victims are real.
Yeah, the victims are real,
and to like be outing their life, like they already went through this terrible situation, but now you want to make it public and like have everybody put their opinion on it.
Yeah, and too, sometimes just the way they present some of these things, some of these people are like, these shows become about the presenters, you know what I mean?
Or it becomes about like the action. Like it'll take people like the victim and like show what like horrible things happened to them and like talk all about that, but then not really explain that they were a person, and the family knows them as the person, like the personality.
Yep.
And what they meant to them.
Yeah.
But they're just seen as XYZ.
Yeah, they're just seen as like a character in a story, like a narrative, that you get to tell, versus like, kind of acknowledging the fact that, these are fucking like real human beings, and
versus they live like 22 years of fucking life.
Some people do treat the topic with respect and, are do handle it well. However, I do think there is so many people involved with it. You know what I mean? There's so many people that have fucking true crime podcasts out there. There's so many people that are doing shit. it kind of seems wrong on some level. It does feel kind of exploitive to just kind of have so many fucking podcasts, like, and so many different things going over all these horrible stories, you know, and these, people just like seeking this stuff out, you know, just like, oh, I gotta find the fucking the next horrible thing that's going on, you know. They don't, like, you know, like you're saying, they're not thinking about this like in like as like these people are humans, like, you know, they're looking at it as like, you know, look, what's the next fucked up thing I can share with people to get engagement.
Yeah.
Clicks. You know, there's something wrong with that. I don't think that's right. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You know, it's kind of what we're doing right now with Charles Manson. But he came up, I think, in the last episode or something like that. In one of the previous episodes, he came up. And there's something about him being like CIA, some conspiracy theory. But I don't know. Well, we can all get into that later. But anyway, second imprisonment. Manson received 5 years parole in September 1958.
For why? Why did he get 5 years parole?
Hold on, I think I just skipped a bunch of shit. Oh, he got married in fucking prison too. Wait, no, he didn't. So when he got released and went in 1954, he was released in 1954. That's where we stopped. So then he got married in 1955 to a hospital waitress named Rosie.
Okay.
Rosie Jean Willis. Around October, about 3 months after he and his pregnant wife arrived in Los Angeles in a car he had stolen in Ohio, Manson was again charged with a federal crime for taking the vehicle across state lines. After psychiatric evaluation, he was given 5 years probation. Manson's failure to appear at the Los Angeles hearing on an identical charge filed in Florida resulted in his March 1956 arrest in Indianapolis. His probation was revoked, and he was sentenced to 3 years imprisonment at Terminal Island in Los Angeles.
He didn't make it long.
While Manson was in prison, Rosalie gave birth to their son, Charles Manson Jr. During his first year at Terminal Island, Manson received visits from Rosalie and his mother, who were now living together in Los Angeles. In March 1957, when the visits from his wife ceased, his mother informed him that Rosie was living with another man. Oh, fuck. Less than 2 weeks before his scheduled parole hearing, Manson tried to escape by stealing a car. He was given 5 years probation, and his parole was denied.
He's good at fucking stealing cars, though.
Dude. This,
or at least he tries a lot. Maybe that's what it is. He just had enough chances.
I mean, he's stolen, apparently. He's successful. It seems like he tried to escape by stealing a car. It seems like
always get him at the border.
It seems like he stole the car. He just didn't escape. So I don't know how that works, but so the second imprisonment. So Manson received 5 years parole in 1958, same year which Rosie received a decree of divorce. By November, he was pimping a 16-year-old girl and was receiving additional support from a girl with wealthy parents. The fuck? In September 1959, he pleaded guilty to a charge of attempting to cash a forged U.S. Treasury check, which he claimed to have stolen from a mailbox. The latter charge was later dropped. He received a 10-year suspended sentence and probation after a young woman named Leona Ray Candy, in parentheses, Stevens, who had an arrest record for prostitution, made a tearful plea before the court that she and Manson were deeply in love and would marry Charlie if he were freed. Before the year's end, the woman did marry Manson, possibly so she would not require to testify against him.
What happened to the other man? Was this just a side note? Was he just a placeholder while he was in prison?
What? What are you saying? His other
Hold
chick?
on. Who is the chick? She had the kid?
Rosie? You're talking about Rosie? So Rosie received a decree of divorce.
So she got a divorce while he was in prison?
Yeah. So he goes.
And then who fell in love with him?
He was pimping a 60-year-old girl and was receiving additional support from a girl with wealthy parents. And so then...
This is confusing. There's too many characters.
Yeah, I know, right? So he received a 10-year suspended sentence and probation after a young woman named Leona Ray Candy Stevens, who had an arrest record for prostitution, made a tearful plea that she would marry him. So that's the whole long run-on sentence there. That's what that's all about. So Manson took Leona and another woman to New Mexico for purposes of prostitution, resulting in him being held for questioning and violating the Mann Act, which is a White Slave Traffic Act, also called the Mann Act, is a United States federal law.
That seems a little reaching. They don't have just a law against prostitution? Or is it because he went over borders again? He always gets caught at the borders.
I don't even know.
Is there a border thing where he was like trafficking? That makes sense.
So it's in its original form, the act made it a felony to engage in interstate or foreign commerce transport of any woman or girl for the purpose of prostitution, debauchery, or any other immoral purpose.
That's pretty spot on to what he's doing.
Yeah, I would say so.
I think they got him. On that one.
Got him cold. Got his ass cold. Though he was released, Manson correctly suspected that the investigation had not ended. When he disappeared in violation of his probation, a bench warrant was issued. An indictment for violation of the Mann Act followed in 1960. Following the arrest of one of the women for prostitution, Manson was arrested in June in Laredo, Texas, and he was returned to Los Angeles. For violating his probation on the check cashing charge, he was ordered to serve his 10-year sentence. Jesus Christ. Like, there's all this shit going on. So, let's just jump ahead.
He repeatedly just gets light sentences for, like, heavy crimes. Over and over again. Okay. RJ's here. Good old Charles Manson. Good old Chuck.
Good old Chuck.
The Chuckster.
Chuckster.
We're going crazy right now.
Yeah. So, and I guess we'll do an official introduction. RJ's joining us on the podcast.
What's up, guys?
Got third mic filled.
Third mic filled.
We're
So
rolling.
I don't have empty spaces. So y'all got whatever ghost was here
Yeah.
taking over.
There is
Baki's
actually a
ghost.
ghost.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I'm out. Oh, that's it. It's like my introduction. Y'all rolled the credits. I'm out. I'm out of here. I ain't doing this no more.
It's the ghost of Charles Manson.
Ooh. Oh, gosh. I'm scared.
But no, seriously, though, the last episode, Baki was sitting in this chair, and we were talking about the fucking ghost,
Oh,
and he
gosh.
fucking falls
A
backwards.
poltergeist.
Poltergeist. Dude,
Ripped the
trips
back
his
of his
ass up.
neck and just...
He went
flew
flying
back.
back, dude. It was crazy.
Bro, that's hilarious.
It was hilarious and also scary. At the
Yeah,
same
no,
time,
for
you
sure.
know what I
leaning
mean?
back too far and doing that little dance he does.
Just a little.
And that ghost didn't like that shit.
He hit the Dougie a
Not
little
like
too
that.
hard. Hit the Dougie a little too hard. They were like, all right, cut it
That's
out.
too
I'm sick of
much.
it. Cut it out now.
So let's let's just jump ahead to his fucking, oh my god, involvement with the Beach Boys. Like, there's so many things.
The Beach Boys.
The
Good old
Beach
Charlie
Boys.
Manson on the Beach Boys.
Oh, gosh. Wish that. Y'all got to inform me
The
on
Beach
that.
Boys?
Yeah. What's that?
That's a band.
Oh.
They made really dumb music, but
Oh.
it was pop. So it was fun.
What? I like pop.
It's the Beach Boys.
He was like, it's pop. It's dumb. Yeah, we hate pop.
Yeah. I mean, it was that. It's very 50s music. You know
Ah,
what I mean?
okay,
You hear
okay.
that, you're like, oh, this is old.
What is 50s
You
pop
swing
sound
it,
like?
white
swing it,
people
you get
music.
jiggy to it.
Is it like blues type
It's
stuff?
like that song. It's like, I'm pretty sure they did that, like, round, get around, I
Yeah,
get
get
around.
around.
That whole
Oh, okay.
I
They're like,
they're always
yeah,
doing
okay,
that
okay.
dumb shit.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's just all super happy, and it's like white people, like, you know. Like,
Yeah, we're getting you.
Yeah,
Totally
ooh.
war isn't happening.
And
War didn't-
Everyone is
war
dressed
didn't
up like the Barbie movie
Oh, yeah.
outside on the beach.
Oh, yeah, war didn't happen not too long ago. Now we're just all giddy now.
Yeah,
It's
right.
over. We won.
It's just like, oh, it's all great.
It's all great now.
There's
like
no nukes.
We won. We nuked Japan. Nah,
There's
shit.
no nukes pointed at us right now. We have nothing to worry about. Yeah, no.
That's crazy.
No.
You talking about Barbie
Barbie,
and Oppenheimer coming out, bro? Or it came out already.
baby. The Barbenheimer.
Barbenheimer?
We all got Barbenheimer.
That's
bro.
fine. That's fine. I seen like a poster. Someone had like it was like Oppenheimer and it had Barbie on his shoulders, and it just carrying her and it said Barbenheimer. I was like, oh yeah, that's my kind of movie. That's my kind of movie for real.
Yeah.
So Oppenheimer
crazy. They
was
make so much money.
Depressing as fuck.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
What Oppenheimer? That's
Yeah, I
crazy.
saw
'cause-
it.
Did it feel like 3 hours to you? Because
Oh, yeah.
to me,
Like 2.5 hours in, we're like, this is still going.
I knew
We just didn't know his life at all, and it's all about his perspective. how they tried to screw with him.
Yeah, and like the thing though is like for whatever reason for me, I did not like, you know, I did feel long. Like I could feel the length of the movie. It did feel long, but sounds wrong.
Oh gosh.
But
I didn't feel the nuke hard enough.
but I did not feel 3 hours. Like I didn't. I thought
okay.
when it came to the credit, or like Oppenheimer comes on the screen and it comes to the close of the movie, I was like, damn. I was like, I thought this did not feel. It felt like 2.5 to me, maybe 2:45, but like 3, just not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I just was so into it. Like
It was nice though.
it's-
I'll admit my neck hurt because it was sold out and we had to get front row tickets.
I was just about to say that.
So
I was gonna say you probably didn't.
it was standard, but it felt like IMAX just because we were so damn close to the screen.
damn. Nah,
So when
that's
the bomb
rough.
hit,
That just reminds me of all the
my
memes.
whole chair was shaking.
Oh,
everything.
That just reminds me of all the memes, bro. Front row, IMAX, and you had to go to a specific theater to fully experience it. They were like, you got to go to AMC theater that had a certain, like, I guess, screening of it.
Well, there's there's
Yeah.
only so many IMAX 70 millimeters, so that's the like the full blown like resolution.
You
You
get
know,
500K.
yeah, it's like
video.
the most. It's like, and too, I think there's some of these theaters are like the screens are like huge. They're like
Yeah.
6 stories or something. They tout these
gosh.
big things. When The Dark Knight came out,
Oh, yeah.
I saw that on like maybe the Air and Space Museum, and like that was a full blown IMAX. So like the action scenes in that movie, they were huge. Like I mean, the screen was gigantic, and so that was amazing. I love that. So, but that's to me is the all time Nolan movie, right?
Yeah.
Dark Knight.
Mhm.
Do you like? I mean, I think that's his best movie. I think
The Joker
Oppenheimer's
walking away
really
from a hospital.
good.
Dude, I've been meaning like to
Explodes.
rewatch actually that movie because it's been a long time. Because I saw it when I was a kid because my dad was a huge fan of, especially of Christian Bale. Once he took over the role, I guess, of Batman, and seeing him and how he depicted compared to having like Michael, wasn't it Michael Keaton? That's his name.
Yeah.
Oh,
Michael
yeah,
Keaton.
fuck yeah.
After Michael Keaton,
Keaton.
and then George Clooney too, and then Christian
Val
Bale came around the
Kilmer.
picture. Yeah,
Val
like-
Kilmer did Batman Forever, and that was Joel Schumacher's first. That was his first crack at it after Burton did the first 2
Yeah.
with Michael Keaton, and then they just like new direction.
Oh yeah,
new
direction.
Batman.
Yeah, because Keaton, those what was it like? They made like 2, 3 of them.
They made
They
two with
leaned into
Keaton.
like
Two
the
Keaton.
comical side of it where everything's a little goofy.
Yeah, it wasn't
yeah,
was
more
Jim,
lean more into like the 50s kind of.
Yeah.
You know that.
wasn't Jim Carrey and those ones?
Jim
right?
Carrey was in
Oh,
the
he was
third
the
guy, so
Riddler?
he was in
Yeah.
Batman Forever.
he was in Riddler. He was Riddler in those movies. I was like,
Yeah, no, it's honestly I have a soft spot for Batman Forever, but Batman and Robin is the one with Clooney. That's the one where it's just like that's just
Where he's
bad.
got bat nipples.
The
oh
bat
yeah,
nipples,
the bat
yeah,
nipples, infamous bat nipples, bro.
That's the one Mr. Freeze. That's what
Who said-
Arnold's.
who greenlit that?
Freeze.
Like who greenlit that? It was like this is a great idea. Let's just give him nipples.
You know, I'm pretty sure at the time Batman was just raking in the money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're making the movies were cashing in, so they were like,
Whatever suit they had.
Let's give
they
him
just need
nipples.
to get it out there.
It's one of those things where they get comfortable. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
they have all the money. They're like, we don't need to really put that much effort. And then you see what happens. You have Arnold Schwarzenegger just being. You remember that, right? Where he's like got the horrible lines about the freeze. He's Mr. Freeze.
Oh yeah. He always has like a quip, just like a one-liner. They always
Right.
give him one-liners.
But they don't even make any sense because one of them is what killed the dinosaurs, and he says the Ice Age, but that's not true at all. Like that doesn't line up at all with the
Well, at the
fossil
time,
record.
actually.
Listen,
Literally, at the time, it was.
Nice.
as Mr. Freeze, that is a kind of a badass line.
What the?
It's an Arnold Schwarzenegger line.
Yeah,
but
right. He has a few
but
other
it
ones
doesn't make
too.
any sense.
It does not make
It
any
doesn't
sense.
make any
yeah.
goddamn sense.
Like, no, dude, that's
It's like
didn't kill the
comical. Yeah.
dinosaurs at all.
No, that's the one thing about Arnold is like
You could have said some what killed the mammoth or something like that would have, but that doesn't hit as bad as dinosaurs. You know what I mean?
yeah, it really doesn't.
Mammoths. But did you all care about woolly mammoths like when you were a kid at all? Like I don't know when I
No,
found
I
out
wouldn't
about
give a shit. Dinosaurs sounds cooler.
I
That's
know,
probably what the
dinosaurs-
I always thought
director
they
said.
were, especially once those Ice Age movies came out. Like definitely, even though it was like more kid friendly, but seeing a woolly mammoth, I was like, that's kind of cool. But
yeah, like
prior to that, I was like, okay, I was
I
like a
thought it was
dinosaur,
cool.
better.
I don't know. I thought woolly mammoth because like it's just I'm picturing elephants, but like bigger, and they had fucking hair. And I was just like, dude, this is crazy. I don't know why.
It's just a hairy elephant.
Yeah, it's just a giant hairy
That's
elephant.
it, just a giant hairy
It's
elephant.
fucking huge tusks.
You know what I
what
did care about though? I like saber-toothed tigers. Those are cool. But
Right.
I preferred that over like
Imagine
the
them
mammoth, for
fighting
sure.
the mammoths. Like, you got a pack of saber-tooths, like, attacking a mammoth. Mammoth's like, "Roar," like
Yeah,
fucking
I mean, I don't
knocking him around
mean,
with
t-
his tusks. But then they
Okay, but you're talking to Batman. Who killed the saber-toothed tigers? No, it's who killed the dinosaurs. That's cool.
Yeah, you're right. That's cool. It's just way better. The line hits so much better with that, but it just doesn't. You know what I mean?
Doesn't make any fucking sense.
It doesn't make any sense. There's a few others though. I think that are better, but that's really the one that always. I'm just like I'm totally lost on where they were going with it or where you know what I mean. Like it just seems so just random. But anyway, Batman.
Batman.
I thought we were talking about Charles Manson.
We were talking about Charles Manson, but we got on Oppenheimer,
Nolan.
and then we started talking about
Bro, I
Nolan's
haven't-
best movie,
yeah,
which
yeah.
I argue
Okay.
is The Dark Knight. Still goated in my mind because like nothing can top. Like I like his other movies for sure, but like to me the action scenes in that are just so top notch. The story is just so straightforward and also has enough twists and turns that keeps you guessing. Especially the first time I saw it, like I'm like I don't know what Joker's gonna do. Like I don't know what the fuck he's gonna like pull off next. You know what I mean? The whole time I'm like I thought one of those boats for sure was gonna blow up at the end of the movie. Like they had you guessing the whole time. And that's what I loved about it. So to me, it's still like an endlessly rewatchable. I don't know how many times I've seen it. Probably in the thousands. I'm just kidding. I'm not that many. But you know what I
If you
mean.
felt that strongly about Christian Bale, what you think of Robert Pattinson, like his depiction on Batman or that route?
So what I really liked about that was it felt very true to the character Batman, especially in a lot of the depictions, especially the animated ones where he's
Yeah.
like narrating, you know, it's
Oh,
like
yeah,
very,
yeah.
and it's very much detective driven, you know, it's like, I honestly, I like the movie a lot. It's just very long and I don't have a strong desire to really rewatch it, but I did enjoy it, you know, watching it. And I think
Yeah.
the fucking Batmobile is awesome and like, it's
Yeah.
really badass. So like, I love that too. But yeah, you know, to me it's a really good, fun experience. But I don't know how. My desire to rewatch it isn't. I don't know.
So you feel like the replay value is like, it's not too.
It's worth a. I think it's
Yeah.
definitely worth a viewing. But yeah, I don't know if I would watch it again.
I
you know?
think it was
Maybe.
the most cinematically beautiful. I think it had the best vibe out of any Batman movie. I think the detective work kind of felt like a comic book. Like he would discover things and then boom, something happens right there.
Yeah, it kind of felt like those Telltale games in a way. Like they had like a Telltale game of Batman where it was
Yeah.
like the decisions and stuff, and you would like literally like play Batman, discover like clues, and I mean essentially that's kind of what he was doing throughout the movie too. So it's like it did. I understand when that feeling of kind of like that comic book kind of esque feeling or
It
video
feels
game.
like you're discovering things as he's doing it,
Yeah,
which is really cool.
Yeah.
It's just such a fucking long ass movie.
Yeah, and I think on top of that, I think he was like very early. I think it was like early Batman too. I think he was only like a year or two. I think in that movie.
Yeah, it's
like-
supposed to be about kind
like
of the
early-
startup. Yeah, he's not quite got his feet under him yet. I guess is like he is Batman, but it's not. Doesn't like. Yeah, he hasn't. He's not like I guess what they're trying to portray in like The Dark Knight or like
Yeah, the
in,
other
like,
movies where he's
the
like
other
really
movies.
matured.
Yeah, he's really like
already
experienced.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
for
knows
sure.
his shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this one he's got very early, so he's not so experienced. You know, he can still make mistakes, and you know we've seen that throughout the movie. And there's like little slip ups, but maybe early. I know there was like a comic attached to it. I didn't get to read it, but I knew there was like a comic like showing off his year one of him, and then because you're supposed to like read that comic and then watch the movie. But I feel like a lot of people kind of that went over their heads.
Yeah,
I think that went over their heads.
giving me reading material.
Yeah, like giving reading material. Like I have to read the
Give his
comic before the movie.
origin
So
story. Yeah.
I think it only adds like a little bit more stuff, I guess, once you actually like rewatch the movie. But I never really like checked it out because I was like, I don't know. I enjoyed the movie. I didn't feel like going back and reading right after watching the movie. So I don't know.
Yeah. But so to me though, like I do feel bad because you know it's like kind of that sort of Nolan's Batman trilogy. I do not, you know, I think it's probably well documented. He said it. You know, he did not get that vision, the original vision for the whole thing. He did not get to pull it off. He didn't get to do it because Heath Ledger unfortunately dies.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? After it's like. this crazy portrayal of the Joker, it just hits. I don't know. I still fucking love it. He steals the show. He's only in the movie for I don't even know how much screen time, but it's something crazy
it's not.
It's
but
like
he
30
has
minutes, 40
Yeah,
minutes,
something
or
like
something.
that.
huge part in it.
But his effect on the story is incredible. But the amount of time he's actually on the screen, it's actually pretty limited compared to the other characters.
I feel like they did a really good job of hiding that he wasn't a huge on-screen character, because every scene with him, your heart's pounding.
Yeah, because you're like, what is he gonna do now?
Something's intense about to happen.
Dude,
Yeah.
He's a psychopath.
Sets the fucking tone too, especially in that first meeting where the guy comes up to him and he just does the pencil fucking thing immediately. That's your introduction to him. He's just all right, what
Is he
the
a
fuck
magic
is
trick?
this guy gonna do? And then he pulls open his fucking jacket and he's got the grenades and he's
yeah.
I'll just blow us all up. I can do that. And you're just all right, this guy is
I don't care.
This is just insanity. This guy's And so to me, the setup, everything, he's great, and there's just so hard to top that. How could you? It's how.
That's true.
And so, in a way, it's Nolan. It's great that he made in my mind, the best Batman movie. It's probably just the best kind of superhero movie, in general. I don't know what could be better. I mean, it's Avengers Endgame, obviously, and Infinity War, those are great and amazing, but
Yeah, a lot of people actually they didn't like Endgame. A lot of people actually I've seen there was a good portion that was oh, whoa, Endgame's
I like
amazing.
Endgame because it was a huge everything I wanted to see crammed into one movie. But The Dark Knight has a special place because it's its own thing, rather than trying to be 5 different movies at once.
Yeah, of course, yeah, because
exactly.
it's just very different. Because with Endgame, it's let's just cram a whole bunch of superheroes. Of course, everyone wanted that. It's a big old team up because instead of the amount of characters that they were dishing out and all these other, everyone's getting their own movies, and they were just piling a whole bunch of characters together.
Culmination on 19 fucking movies, basically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Compared to just you got Batman and Joker. That's it. And then how much that just opened up for recurrent stuff now,
Yeah.
Dude, yeah. I mean, it's just it's not trying to, it's one movie. It's not the culmination of 19 movies.
Yeah.
The difference is it's apples to oranges comparison. You can't. It's hard to compare the two movies, right? But I will say though, I do think The Dark Knight. If you ask me just straight up, what's the better movie? I have to say The Dark Knight, because it's not really. You can watch it without watching Batman Begins, and it can still be fucking great. It just gets you off running, and you don't need real. You know who fucking Batman? Who doesn't know Batman is? I mean, you get off the start, and you're like, all right, and you just go, and there's no. Batman Begins is a good kind of prologue to it, if you want to watch it, but it's really
It's
not
necessary.
required. Yeah, it's not necessary.
The character development in The Dark Knight is levels above Endgame.
Oh yeah.
Just because they focus on them too. And that's my favorite part of a story, if I'm honest. Is just seeing how characters change and their intentions, their motives.
And so in my mind, I do compare Infinity War and Endgame. I compare those two.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I feel like that's a fair comparison, right? They're both they're part 1 and part 2. I prefer Infinity War.
Yeah, I was about to get into that. I feel like a lot of people, preferred that over Endgame.
Well, to me, I think a lot of people, this is what they meant to do with it. It's really so you have, Iron Man's fucking Tony Stark's movie, fucking Captain America's movie. Infinity War is Thanos' movie. That's how it's set up. Everyone else is kind of just you have their storylines going, but it's very much his movie. You're following his arc of getting these stones, and that's what it is. And then he does this shit, and then at the end he fucking sits down and he's fucking happy. And that's boom.
Ultimately he won.
It's his movie.
It's
fucking his movie, and it gives him his happy ending. It's framed that way, almost if you flipped it, and if you thought he was the good guy, it ends on a happy note.
Essentially you say the villain won. He did. He won.
I think they did a great job in Infinity War about making it about him. And what they fucked up in the Endgame is they got stuck in that it's about Thanos.
Mm-hmm.
So the Endgame fight all of a sudden you see all of his minions, and you just don't give a fuck about them.
You know they're gonna fucking win at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
that's
It's
true.
like once those
you could
the portal's
skip,
opening
like,
is really crazy.
If you could skip like 5 minutes of them fighting minions and just go to Thanos fighting the Avengers and all that, that'd be a great scene. That'd be a
Yeah.
great scene.
Oh yeah. They wanted to have that. They're fun with the sandbox of all every character ever just in the movie here in one scene.
Oh.
They had to do it. And don't get me wrong, it was a great scene, but it's literally just like that sort of like indulgence in the excess. You know what I mean? It's like that's the best, and that's what you look at like The Dark Knight. And that's the difference, right? It's like The Dark Knight, it does indulge in some excess. It just gives just enough, but you know what I mean? That set pieces are great, but they're actually integral to the plot. Mm-hmm. They move the story forward. Like the one where they're moving Harvey Dent. That fucking sequence is great. They're chasing him down. He's got the fucking, tractor trailer. He opens it up. They got the rocket launchers and shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, like the whole sequence is so well done, and it moves the plot forward because at the end of it, you find out that Gordon's alive. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He pulled the fucking shit off, and then they got, they arrested the Joker. And so, like, the sequence, like, you're like, oh, shit, we got the Joker. Like, at the end of this, like, this moves the plot. Things are different. That's the important thing. That's how I kind of watch movies, too, and judge how things move. It's like, at the end of each scene or, like, at the end of each sequence, what's changed? Are characters in a different spot? Are they feeling worse? Are they feeling bad? Did somebody find out something? So whatever. Anyway, and we're just rambling right now about movies, but we want to actually go into the fucking horrible things that Charles Manson did to people.
Oh gosh.
You want to give us a quick
You'd have to
rundown? I don't remember where we were at.
Yeah, you'd have to inform me on that because I know who Charles Manson is, but I don't know. I'm not informed on what the horrible things he's done because I know he's done some horrible things. But
so he's actually never. He's killed. Let's go up to the top. What did it say? 9+ people by proxy. So by proxy meaning he didn't actually kill them himself.
Oh.
Isn't that interesting? He actually ordered other people to do it. So
yeah, that's like the U.S. and the Middle East.
Yeah,
We're not at war with them.
No.
We're just at war with the terrorists.
yeah,
No, bro, that's wild.
Proxy war.
exactly. That's what the fucking Ukraine.
Yeah,
it's fun
Ukraine.
sending all this money.
Bro
into
just
it.
got his friends to kill people. He's like, Mike, yo, go get someone. All right, go hit him up.
So I gotta paint this picture real quick. Cult leader. He gets people to kill people for him.
Okay.
How tall would you think he is?
Oh gosh.
He's real charismatic or something.
Yeah,
he's got to have
charisma.
some.
He's got the Riz.
Some strings to
He's
pull in
got
their
the
mind.
Riz. He's a cult leader. He has to have Riz. That's how he gets his members.
Yeah, of course.
That in mind, how tall would you think he is?
Oh gosh.
Numbers.
Numbers, Mason. Chill. Okay.
First number.
First number. I was thinking short.
Okay.
I was thinking like 5'4".
Whoa.
Pretty close.
Damn.
What?
5'2".
5'2", bro.
5'2". 5'2".
5'2"? Risen up people?
Risen up.
Hey, bro, come join my cult, bro.
Dude, how?
How?
Houseway.
Little
How?
man syndrome.
How, Sway?
I don't know.
How?
You ever
Hey,
met a
what?
little man who's just mad that he's a little man?
Yes.
He gets inside your head.
I know one.
He's your biggest hater.
We know
Whether
one.
you know it or not.
We know one personally.
Yeah.
We know one personally.
Oh shit.
No, okay. What's
Oh,
My
shit.
point being, he's got little man
Short man
syndrome.
Yeah.
Short man
He's
syndrome.
got a fucked up childhood.
Oh gosh.
He's got
Dude, he got raped. He raped a boy.
a boy
I think
in
He
like
got
a boys
touched?
camp or something, like a institution.
Yeah.
So
he
then
went through 3 or 4 or 5 perhaps institutions.
Nah, he got touched.
the last institution he escaped 18 times,
Gosh.
all
He
before
tried
he was
to.
21.
He got touched by an autistic boy.
In reverse,
before he's
it's like
21.
yeah, they were doing. He was getting raped. He was doing the rape. It was all this stuff was happening, dude. It was crazy.
Time happens. He gets caught going across the border with a stolen car.
Oh yeah.
That's a felony. He goes to prison.
So he marries a woman he has Charles Manson Jr. with her, but then he finds out she's living with another guy, so he gets divorced from her and then marries another woman who then he starts to prostitute out, but then he's prostituting out like a 16-year-old somewhere. I don't know, dude.
What?
And then he drives them to like across state lines, and that's like a fucking felony.
He doesn't
so-
get caught prostituting people. He gets caught stealing a car and taking it across the border for like the third time.
They did get,
But they just happen to be with him.
they did get him on that taking the hookers across
Yeah.
state lines. You're not supposed to do that.
You got to keep your hookers where they are.
You're supposed to keep hookers within the state,
At this point, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what
according
to say.
to the law.
Like
Don't
that's
know
so
what to
that
say.
was so much. That was
That's
so
how-
much that happened right there.
I guess the way it works is like the fucking federal government's like, look, states, you need to police the whores in your own states. But you know what? If a motherfucker takes a whore across the state line, we're fucking coming down on you.
So
That's what they said back in the day.
he's from West Virginia.
They've changed the language. They don't use
okay.
whores anymore.
Nice. West Virginia.
And
Perfect.
he moves
Perfect way to start off.
to Los Angeles.
He was in
No.
Los Angeles for a bit.
Of
He's
course.
all over the place. He's like in Indiana. He's bouncing around. Motherfucker he's getting
He should have
raped.
just stayed in L.A. That's what when people be prostituting right there now. You can find that so easy over there now. Especially back in the day, he should have just stayed in L.A. the whole time. He would have been cool.
Well, see, I think he did some.
He did some fucked up
Did
shit.
some fucked up shit, and then had to fucking flee, and then he got like arrested in Texas, I think. I don't know, dude. It's,
the amount of stuff y'all told me right now.
dude, he's all over the place. Like this motherfucker, he's just insane. You know what I mean? And that's what we were talking about earlier. It's just like there's no way to rationalize what this motherfucker is doing. Like he's a crazy man. He is an insane
You
person.
just don't know what he wants.
He's a
Actually, I
psychopath.
guess he does know what he wants, but doesn't know.
But there's this craziness. Like there's all sorts of stuff. We can get into all sorts of the weird beliefs, but like the doomsday beliefs. The Manson family developed into a doomsday cult when Manson became fixated on the idea of an imminent apocalyptic race war between America's black population and the larger white population. A white supremacist, Manson told some of the Manson family that black people in America would rise up and kill all the white people except for Manson and his family, but they were not intelligent enough to survive on their own. Jesus Christ, this dude was fucking... See, this is what I'm saying. Like, this motherfucker's insane. They would need a white man to lead...
Oh
So
my! This is
Manson,
where that went.
naturally,
This is where that went.
naturally Manson would serve as their master. That's what he was saying. Like
He'll be the next Napoleon.
like what?
According to Vincent, this guy, I guess he's a prosecutor. Manson adopted the term "helter skelter," taken from the song on the Beatles' recently released White Album, to refer to this upcoming race war. So, yeah. So Helter Skelter gets unfairly associated with the Manson
With the
family.
crazy ass
Yeah.
race
Wait,
war.
Is that the
The
dude's,
race
is
war.
that the dude's real name? Helter Skelter?
Well, see, it's a song from the Beatles.
Oh, it's a song. Okay. I thought it was a
And
dude's
so-
name. I was like Helter Skelter. I was like, nice.
So they took that, but they were just on acid all the time. You know what I mean? They're just fucking taking drugs.
Yeah.
Constantly just into fucking, what do you call it? Like indoctrinating and like these people, like it was
Self-indoctrinating. He's making his own shit. And then I guess this leads into the cult. Does he have a Helter Skelter cult?
Well, so that's just part of his crazy beliefs. It gets into the next thing on the list is the Tate encounter. So that's where he goes to the Tate. I think he goes to the Tate's. So what it was
Tate?
Anti-Tate.
So I roll up his theme song.
let's just go straight into the murder. So like what happened was he did go to Tate's house, but see what he did was he went there looking for somebody. I think it was about a record deal. So yeah, Melcher's residence. He was not invited. He approached the main house. Manson was met by an Iranian photographer who had befriended film director Roman Polanski and his wife Sharon Tate during the making of the documentary Mia and Roman. He was there to photograph Tate before she departed for Rome the following day. So Manson said he was looking for Melcher, and the guy didn't recognize the name. He told him that the place was the Polanski residence and advised him to try the path to the guest house. Tate appeared behind the photographer in the house's front door and asked him who was calling. They maintained their positions while Manson went back to the guest house without a word, returned to the front for a minute or two later, and left. So this is according to this guy, Bugliosi, I think is his name. It's a weird Vincent Bugliosi.
I don't really get what's happening.
Helter Skelter,
So
the true story of Manson murders. So he just showed up here because he's looking for Melcher. Melcher is a guy, I believe, that was involved in the music business. So Manson was a musician, too. So he had done some music and done some recordings. And I think Melcher, was involved with the Beach Boys. And he had been to this house before when Melcher owned it. So he goes back there, sometime later, thinking Melcher still lives there. At this point, Roman Polanski lives there, who's the director of Rosemary's Baby, and a bunch of other movies, famous movies, Chinatown, and Sharon Tate is his wife, and so Manson shows up there, sees Sharon and this fucking Iranian photographer that is there, so that evening. Manson returned to the property and went again to the guest house. He entered the enclosed porch and spoke to Altabelli, the owner, who had just come out of the shower. Manson asked for Melcher, but Altabelli felt that Manson was actually looking for him. It was later discovered that Manson had apparently been to the property on earlier occasions after Melcher left. Altabelli told Manson through the screen door that Melcher had moved to Malibu and said that he did not know his new address, although he did. Yeah, so he kind of got a weird vibe from Manson. It's like, this guy's fucking weird. I'm not going to give you this address.
Okay. I was wondering where this is going, but it seems like a close encounter kind of thing.
Well, that's what happened. It was like almost like a happenstance, right? He just kind of shows up there looking for Melcher, sees Sharon Tate, and he gets, he's got such shit cooking. He gets his fucking acid-fried brain cooking on this fucking shit. Altabelli told Manson he was leaving the country the next day, and Manson said they would like to speak with him upon his return. Altabelli said that he would be gone for more than a year. Manson said that he had been directed to the guest house by the persons in the main house. Altabelli asked Manson not to disturb his tenants. Altabelli and Tate flew together to Rome the next day. Tate asked him whether that creepy-looking guy had gone to see him at the guest house the day before. So,
Schmolder.
Yeah, she saw him. Yeah, she saw this weirdo. Saw this shit.
Fucking acid.
So
hanging around the property
is, I guess, the guy who owns the house. I'm not sure. Maybe it's like maybe Polanski's just renting it from him.
Yeah.
It's Beverly Hills. I'm pretty sure. So let's see. We're into the good shit.
Oh yeah.
1969 and 1971 crimes and trial. So, there's a few things before we get to the Tate murders. Do you guys just want to go straight to the Tate murders? Because that's like the main thing that they're known for, and the LaBianca murders as well. But the other stuff, they did do some fucked up shit before that. So, like, for example, Tex Watson became involved in drug dealing, one of the members of the Manson family, and robbed a 22-year-old drug dealer named Bernard Lots of Papa.
Lots of Papa.
Lots of Papa.
Got a fucking name. Lots of Papa.
Bernard Lots of Papa Crow. So Bernard Crow is his name. Lots of Papa was his nickname. Crow allegedly responded with a threat to kill everyone at Spawn Ranch. In response, Manson shot Crow on July 1st, 1969 at Manson's Hollywood apartment. Manson's belief that he had killed Crow seemingly confirmed by news reports of the discovery of the dumped body of a Black Panther in Los Angeles. Although Crow was not a member of the Black Panthers, Manson concluded that he had been an expected retaliation from the Panthers. He turned Spawn Ranch into a defensive camp, establishing night patrols by armed guards.
Acid brain.
He Batman.
He's like,
he Batman for real.
they just killed. Was it a black man?
I guess
Did they kill?
Yeah, Bernard Crow.
So
his
acid brain. He's like, oh shit. This random man is probably the leader of the Panthers. They're coming to get us now.
Yeah,
we gotta make a fucking compound.
It's got to be more than just acid.
Fallout 76 style.
Yeah.
It's insanity too. Yeah, there's a mix of
got
that.
a
A little
more-
dash in that.
A little more.
Maybe a
little bit more. Just a little splash of acid or whatever the hell he got.
Watson would later write, Blackie was trying to get Get at the Chosen Ones. Manson brought in members of the Straight Satan's motorcycle club to act as security. I don't.
The motorcycle club to defend their ranch.
The Straight Satans.
Oh hell
What a
no!
weird
Hell
ass
no.
name.
Oh hell no!
We're like, not as opposed to the gay Satans. They and the gay Satans motorcycle club are always at war. You know what I mean? They're
It's
fighting.
funny.
They got the chains. They got the leather and whips and shit. Oh, the gay Satans.
No, I feel like it's like they had seen like a rap one time, and the guy was like, "Yo, I'm straight the best, yo." And they're like, "We're straight Satan,
Straight
yo.
Satan. I'm straight.
That's so.
I'm straight up the Satan."
That's so bro. That's so. It was really. I don't know what they was getting into, bro.
Yeah, that's weird, man. Like straight Satan. Like that's weird.
So he's got this militarized
He said it
encampment
before,
now
and,
just because he's fucking insane.
and apparently nothing happens with that. Like just like that's
Nothing?
weird. That just it ends right there. Like the
You get some
section.
motorcycles on your camp. You got guns.
You got the straight Satans. You're just hanging out, and then everybody just gets high and does acid,
just
and
vibe
then
out.
forget about the fucking whatever they all got there in the first place. So there's now the next thing is the Hinman murder. 34-year-old Gary Allen Hinman was a music teacher and graduate student at UCLA. Okay, so not a drug dealer, and I'm not going to say Bernard deserved to die or anything, but I'm saying in that line of work, you're kind of opening yourself up to some shit like this.
Yeah, for sure.
Music teacher, graduate student at UCLA. This seems a little different. I don't know what's going to happen to him, but hopefully nothing bad. I'm just kidding. It's obviously something bad happens to him.
Well,
At
he's
some
a
point,
UCLA student, but every university was taking acid. Like,
oh sure. I mean, especially UCLA.
Drugs.
I
So
mean,
was
you're
this
over in
like
California.
the late '60s,
This
early
is-
'70s?
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh
Yep,
yeah,
yep.
for sure. Oh yeah, they was getting. I think it was just more than
Acid.
acid. Yeah, I think it
Acid was everywhere, though. It was
acid was
flooding the
everywhere, yeah,
streets.
for sure. I didn't.
Everywhere.
LSD. Ecstasy,
LSD.
all that.
Saw them damn hippies.
Imagine how crazy it was that, like, the fact that, like, LSD was, like, booming right at the time that, like, motherfuckers are, like, landing on the moon. And, like, but it's, like, gotta be mind-blowing. Like, you just be like, dude.
Oh,
It's the,
What
the
the
concept
fuck?
of
dude, imagine.
karma
Yeah, imagine that
or
experience.
something. Like, we went to the moon, so some other people have to get fucked up.
Nah, those people probably saw that when they seen that man land on the moon. It was like, yo, I already did that.
Oh, yeah.
Shit. Why they doing it again?
Yeah.
I've been there. Like,
I mean-
I done that.
That's just gotta be, I don't know, probably would have just blown your fucking mind. Like, if you're just watching the moon landing on acid or some shit. You're just
Yeah.
like, what?
You're like, what? I've been there several times. You're like, psh, that ain't none.
That's crazy.
It's like, that ain't none.
And it's just all crazy how it all kind of converged at that time. Like we're exploring outer space and inner space.
Yeah. In my mental space, inner space, outer space.
It's crazy how like the two things,
Mind-blowing.
That was deep.
Yeah.
two things are happening.
Thanks,
like,
brah.
That's
Thanks,
why
brah.
people. I think that's why people like pine for that time. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, dude, that '60s was like that was the era. Like, you know, it's because of that shit. You know what I mean? It was like all that stuff was happening. Boomers or just like, dude, it was all bad. Like,
They're like, no, this gay music now. Like, especially the music. That's the biggest thing that I say they get on.
the hippity hop.
Totally, there wasn't discrimination left and right during those periods of time. They're always like, man, I wish we'd go back to 60s, 70s. You know what was happening in 60s, 70s?
Right.
What is he talking about? Like,
Yeah.
what you mean? Like, not much
Yeah,
besides just drugs. Like, I just want to do drugs. You're not
No.
thinking about drugs
It didn't
and
seem
music.
too bad because you were high all the time.
Yeah, right? It
You're-
didn't seem too bad because you're doing drugs and
You're
listening,
safe in your home.
listening to rock and all that. And then
Safe
got-
out in the suburbs, away from all the shit that people were struggling with in the cities that you didn't have to deal with. Yeah,
bro, like-
exactly. They're all just all high out in the field at Woodstock, just like love and peace. And like
Yeah.
motherfuckers are struggling. They're like, yeah, love and peace and putting food on the table for my family. All right, like
exactly. I come home to these damn hippies. Damn hippies, the streets.
damn hippies shitting in the streets.
Damn fucking hippies want
I'm just trying to raise my kids.
to come home to my
Put
wife.
food on the table.
Food on the plate. Got these damn hippies.
The motherfucking hippies just won't
Kinda-
leave me alone. They're telling me I'm part of the problem. Like I got responsibilities. I can't just sit around taking acid all the time.
You know, like,
All right. So anyway, UCLA music teacher, probably taking acid all the time, has no responsibility.
wait, so was he like a specific like target? Like, did he have something like against them, or it was just a random guy, like a random music teacher he just put up on?
So it says at some point in the late 1960s, he befriended members of the Manson family, allowing some to occasionally stay at his home. So they had an in right there. They knew.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
It was rash.
Oh, God, dude. Imagine this. Like, you see, like, these hippies. Oh, like, they're hippies. They're just nice little fucking hippies. You
The
know what
short
I mean?
one is a pimp.
That's what
He's got prostitutes in the back. He's selling coke. He's doing acid.
And he's got Riz. And there's no way to fucking break through his Riz.
Riz the Pippy.
You talk to him, he'll get you under his spell. First, like, somehow.
He's got a love potion.
He's got
He's got to be good with his words.
pheromones. He's got strong pheromones.
I'm imagining just Austin Powers.
Yeah, his mojo.
His strong
dude.
pheromones.
He's got his mojo.
He rips open his chest. He's got like 3 teeth, but every girl loves him.
Oh gosh.
Carves an X in his head, and he's like, "Oh, I'm so sexy." All the women are like, "It's like, what the fuck, dude?" It's just confidence, man. That's what it is. All right. According to family member Susan Atkins, Manson believed that Hinman was wealthy. He sent family members Bobby. Manson believed Hinman was wealthy. Manson sent family members Bobby Beausoleil, some of the guys. So it's Bobby,
Bobby.
our boy Bobby,
Damn it, Bobby.
Bobby Boucher.
Bobby, and
Damn it, Bobby.
Mary Bruner and Atkins to Hinman's home on July 25th, 1969, to convince him to join the family and turn over his assets to Manson, though Hinman had inherited. I don't know. That's a weird sentence. Anyway, the three held Hinman hostage for 2 days as he denied having any money. During the time, Manson arrived with a sword and slashed his face and ear. After that, Bobby stabbed Hinman to death, allegedly on Manson's instruction, before leaving the Topanga Canyon residence. Bobby or one of the women used Hinman's blood to write "Political Piggy" on the wall and draw a panther paw, a Black Panther symbol. So they're trying to start. They're trying to start the race war.
So this is still the music teacher, right? That he just killed.
Yeah, it's the music teacher.
The music teacher
Bro,
died.
How much
Who
money?
is Bobby?
That's why
is
they
he just a crackhead? What was his thing again?
Bobby, he's just a member of the family.
Okay, yeah, he's a crackhead.
Bro, how much
Yeah.
money did he think he was getting though? Like, to think that he was.
Manson was just convinced, like, again, acid fucking brain, that this motherfucker.
That he was a millionaire.
just
He was
wealthy.
to solve all our problems.
He's a fucking
UCLA, he's in school. He has money. Totally.
He's totally
Like,
got
oh,
money.
what?
Yeah, no. College students don't have money, especially if he's a music teacher. And, like,
Yeah,
music
I was gonna
teachers
say,
don't make money.
Yeah, even
College
now,
students don't make money.
I mean, especially like
Neither of those
back in
things
the
make any
day,
sense.
You're
Manson's a
tied to
fucking
a chair.
moron.
Some little man, some Oompa Loompa comes up with a sword. He cuts off your ear. He's like, "Where's the money?
Some fucking oompa.
Where's the fucking money,
bro,
Lebowski?"
first of all,
Yeah.
we gotta talk about where this dude got his sword from. The fact that we're just like not mentioning
Yeah.
this dude whips out a sword.
I don't know. I feel like every crackhead has a saber somewhere,
That's
just
dumb.
tucked.
That's so
Just
random.
They have something sharp. for
They've got
sure.
something
Somewhere.
sharp.
Oh,
They at
yeah.
least
They
have
got some kind of
blade.
shank.
They got to, you know what I mean? They never know. So, according to Manson and Bobby said he went to Hinman's to recover money paid to Hinman for mescaline provided to the straight Satans that had supposedly been bad. Bobby added that Bruner and Atkins, unaware of his intent, went along to visit Hinman. Atkins, in her 1977 autobiography, wrote that Manson directed Bobby, Bruner, and her to go to Hinman's and get the supposed inheritance of $21,000. She said 2 days earlier, Manson had told her privately that if she wanted to do something important, she could kill Hinman and get his money. Bobby was arrested on August 6, 1969, after he was caught driving Hinman's car. Fucking idiot. Deserves everything that comes to him. Police found the murder weapon in the tire well. Oh my god.
The murder weapon was in the tire.
In the tire well.
Shit.
He's a dumbass.
Yeah. I'm telling you, bro.
Not to be like, oh, he should have gotten away with it. Like I'm rooting for him or anything. You know what I mean? But
To be
fuck
fair,
that guy. Like
He's gotten this far doing dumb shit like this, and still gets let out on light sentences every fucking time. So what lesson does he learn? Fucking nothing.
do you
Yeah.
not? And that's the
His
thing.
little pee-pee brain.
This isn't even Manson. This is Bobby.
Uh,
This is the guy who stabbed the motherfucker. He's the actual guy who killed him. So, okay, here we get to... so, Bobby was arrested on August 6th. 2 days later, on the night of August 8th, 1969, Tex Watson took Susan Atkins, Linda Kasabian, and Patricia Krenwinkel to 100 50 Celio Drive in Benedict Canyon, Los Angeles, California, which is the home of Sharon Tate and Roman Polanski. Watson later claimed that Manson had instructed him to go to the house and totally destroy everyone in it and to do it as gruesome as you can. Manson told the women to do as Watson instructed them. The occupants of the house at Celio Drive that evening were 26-year-old movie actress Sharon Marie Tate, who is 8.5 months pregnant, and the wife of film director Roman Polanski, her friend and former lover, 35-year-old Jay Sebring, a noted celebrity hairstylist, Polanski's friend, 32-year-old, I can't remember how to pronounce his names, Frykowski, I think is how you say his last name, though. And Frykowski's 25-year-old girlfriend, Abigail Ann Folger, heiress to the Folgers' coffee fortune.
No way.
And daughter of Peter Folger.
He's got connections to everybody.
So, yeah, Polanski knew people, but Polanski wasn't there that night. His wife was. And also present on the property were 19-year-old William Garrettson, a caretaker, and his 18-year-old Stephen Earl Parent. And his friend, 18-year-old Stephen Earl Parent. So Polanski was in Europe working on a film. Music producer Quincy Jones was a friend of Jay Sebring who had planned to join them that evening but did not go. Watson and the three women arrived at the house just past midnight. On August 9th, 1969, Watson climbed a telephone pole near the entrance gate to cut the phone line to the house. The group backed their car to the bottom of the hill that led to the estate and walked back up to the house. They thought that the gate might be electrified or equipped with an alarm, so they climbed a brushy embankment to the right of the gate and entered the grounds. Headlights approached them from within the property, and Watson ordered the women to lie in the bushes. He stepped out and ordered the approaching driver to halt. Stephen Parent had been visiting the property's caretaker, William Garrettson, who lived in the Getz house. Watson leveled a .22 caliber revolver at Parent, who begged him not to hurt him, claiming that he would not say anything. Watson lunged at Parent with a knife, giving him a defensive slash wound on the palm of his hand that severed tendons and tore the boy's watch off his wrist.
Damn.
Then shot him 4 times in the chest and abdomen, killing him in the front seat of his white 1965 AMC Ambassador coupe. Watson ordered the women to help push the car up the driveway. Watson next cut the screen of a window and then told Kasabian to keep watch down by the gate. She walked over to Parent's car and waited. Watson removed the screen, entered through the window, and let Atkins and Krenwinkel through the front door. He whispered to Atkins and awoke Frykowski, who was sleeping on the living room couch. Watson kicked him in the head. Frykowski asked him who he was and what he was doing there. Watson replied, "I'm the devil, and I'm here to do the devil's business."
Mm-hmm.
Cornball.
They simplified this a lot in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Well, they didn't actually show any of this in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Like, this actually doesn't... they never actually get to this point. The characters in that movie stop it, and they kill the Manson family members, because what it is it's like a fantasy about them saving the day. You know, like, all the horrible shit doesn't happen. You know, our heroes win. And, the reality is very grim.
I remember they pull up in the car, and then they walk up this long neighborhood, and then I don't think they meet anyone, so that's cut out. And then
no, they don't.
One of them
actually
goes
get
in the
into,
back door.
They don't actually go into.
Two go in the front.
They don't actually go into Tate's house. They end up going into Leo's house. Because I think doesn't I'm pretty sure Brad Pitt gets their attention somehow, or they fucking figure it out, and so they go in there and try and get him, but then the dog attacks, and they fucking are able to fight back again.
But they do have that line about I'm the devil.
Yeah, I'm the devil,
and I'm here to do the devil's work.
Business. Yeah,
yeah,
and so no, they do have the line. That is definitely in there. And so it's supposed to mirror the events.
I have not seen that
You
movie.
haven't seen the movie? It's fucking good. It's a Tarantino movie.
Yeah, Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
You gotta watch that one.
Yeah, I've not seen that.
No, Once Upon a Time in Mexico. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Once Upon a Time in Mexico is a Robert Rodriguez movie that's a sequel to Desperado That's not too bad. But Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is a movie that we're talking about. You should watch that. It's pretty
Oh
good.
yeah, I do.
Pretty solid.
I had
Pretty
that on my
solid.
watch list.
Have you seen Inglourious Bastards?
Yeah. Okay. That. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of similar to that. It's kind of
Similar.
doing a historical event, but changing it up a little bit.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So
So,
like stories and stuff. Okay. Gotcha.
So, on Watson's direction, Atkins found the house's 3 other occupants with Krenwinkel's help and forced them to the living room. Watson began to tie Tate and Sebring together by their necks with a long nylon rope which he had brought, then slung it over one of the living room ceiling beams. Sebring protested the murderer's rough treatment of the pregnant Tate, so Watson shot him. Folger was taken momentarily back to her bedroom for her purse, and she gave the murderer $70. Watson then stabbed Sebring 7 times. Frykowski's hands had been bound with a towel, but he freed himself and began struggling with Atkins, who stabbed at his legs with a knife. He fought his way out the front door onto the porch, but Watson caught up with him, struck him twice over the head with the gun multiple times, stabbed him repeatedly, and shot him twice. Kasabian had heard horrifying sounds, quotation marks, and moved towards the house from her position in the driveway. She told Atkins that someone was coming in an attempt to stop the murders. Inside the house, Folger escaped from Krenwinkel and fled out the bedroom door to the pool area. Krenwinkel pursued her and caught her on the front lawn, where she stabbed her and tackled her to the ground. Watson then helped kill her. Her assailant stabbed her a total of 28 times. Frykowski struggled across the lawn, but Watson continued to stab him, killing him. Frykowski suffered 51 stab wounds and had also been struck 13 times in the head with the butt of Watson's gun, which bent the barrel and broke off one side of the grip, which was recovered at the scene.
Damn. He beat the shit out of that man.
I mean, this is, like Manson told him, make it as fucking brutal as fucking possible, right? So at the house, Tate pleaded to be allowed to live long enough to give birth and offered herself as a hostage in an attempt to save the life of her unborn child. God. Jesus. But both Atkins and Watson stabbed Tate 16 times, killing her. The coroner's inquest found that Tate was still alive when she was hanged with a nylon rope, although the cause of her death was determined as massive hemorrhage. Well, in Sebring's murder, it was found that he was hanged lifeless. According to Watson, Manson had told the women to leave a sign, something witchy. Atkins wrote "pig" on the front door in Tate's blood. Atkins claimed she did this to copycat the murder scene of Gary Hinman in order to get the Manson family member Bobby out of jail, who was in the custody for the murder. He had written "political piggy" in Hinman's blood on the wall after stabbing him to death. So yeah.
Wow. First of all, poor baby.
Yeah.
Poor baby. Rip the baby. Rip the baby.
But, for sure, though, that's fucked. So fucked. Sharon, is only 26 years old. Damn. Indeed.
I don't even have words.
Moment
bro.
of silence.
I'm
Moment of
just
silence
saying,
for the
I mean,
fallen.
Of course, rest in peace to her and I guess everybody else, but they probably weren't doing the best things. You know what I'm saying?
She was, just an actress.
Yeah, just an actress that.
What did they go in the house for? What was there? They just wanted to kill him for what? For money?
Not even for
Just-
that.
Dang.
Just, they were, again, this is kind of part of his sort of like race war kind of shit where he's trying to incite, trying to get attention and cause this fucking shit to happen. You know what I mean? And so part of the, conspiracy theory about Manson and the whole thing is like the thing that's CIA is like some people thought they came up with this theory that Manson is like this plant, they're like he orchestrates like all these horrible things to happen under the guise of being like a hippie to make hippies look bad.
Yeah, there's that, and also,
But
like the government kind of wanted to
crazy.
bring down black communities in America all at the same time. So then, during the 80s, it starts like the crack pandemic, that kind of thing.
Oh, the CIA
and where like the CIA gives out crack cocaine to black communities just to like destroy them.
Oh yeah.
So their motives were the same as Manson. but
In a way, just without the
I
without
am
the
more in
acid.
tune to believe that he was just an acid
Without the
fiend,
acid, the pee brain.
and he was insane. He just wanted to have his own crazy fucked up world.
Well, it fried his brain, was super paranoid, and came like, convinced of these things, obviously. I mean, supposedly, I guess the theory, if he's orchestrating this just for ulterior motives, then he would have to probably be lucid. He's just not this fucking crazy person. But if he is just fucking insane, if we're going with that, which I tend to go with that theory.
Yeah, definitely mental illness. I feel like you can only say so much. Yeah.
He's fried his brain on acid.
Yeah.
He's just convinced he's trying to start this race war, and he's just like in his head just thinks that like doing these wild things will fucking cause this shit to happen.
Yeah, it's like,
but
That's right, buddy. Cops already do that.
they do murder several other people. You know what I mean? There's a lot of other victims of the Manson family. Obviously, Tate's murder became national news on August 9th, 1969, after Polanski's housekeeper, Winfred Chapman, arrived at work that morning. On August 10th, detectives of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department
Oh yeah.
at the door open up, which had
up.
the jurisdiction in the Hibman case, informed Los Angeles Police Department.
Oh yeah.
Different department.
Each time.
Detectives assigned to the Tate case of the bloody writing in Himmen's house. According to Vincent Bugliosi, because the detectives believed that Tate murders were consequence of drug transaction, the Tate team initially ignored the other evidence of similarities. But, I'm trying to find where...
So he ignored the big bloody pig written on the wall.
Yeah.
It seems like a fucking dead giveaway if you ask me.
Yeah, they're just like, I don't know, man. Could have been just similar,
Political piggy.
piggy.
Political pig.
It's not exactly the same thing.
Not really the same handwriting if you ask me.
Yeah, it's a different.
I don't know. The blood doesn't seem it's the same color. It's a little off.
We like our guy that we got for that one. We don't want to try and fuck that up. That's another motive too, right? They made their case with Bobby already. They don't want to.
Bob.
Because if they acknowledge that, there's still
Then the sheriff's department looks stupid because they got the wrong guy.
right. Yeah, and they're like,
They'll be alright. They've done that plenty of times. They'll be alright.
So, yeah, conviction, I guess, in January 25th, 1971, jury returned guilty verdicts against 4 defendants in each of the 27 separate counts against them. Let's see. Because obviously, there was a bunch of people that got arrested here. Atkins, Krenwinkel, and Van Houten testified the murders had been conceived as copycat versions of a Hinman murder for which Atkins now took credit. The killings, they said, were intended to draw suspicion away from Bobby by resembling the crime for which he had been jailed. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. We know all that shit. Midway through the penalty phase, Manson shaved his head and trimmed his beard to a fork. He told the press, "I am the devil, and the devil always has a bald head." Okay, interesting.
Okay, buddy.
In what the prosecution regarded as belated recognition on their part that imitation of Manson only proved his domination, the female defendants refrained from shaving their heads until the jurors returned to weigh the state's request for the death penalty. The effort to exonerate Manson via the copycat scenario failed. On March 29th, 1971, the jury returned verdicts of death against all 4 defendants on all counts. On April 19th, 1971, Judge Older sentenced the 4 to death.
Hell yeah.
But that didn't happen.
And that's Charles Manson, his brother, and who else?
So is
it 2 women?
Atkins, Krenwinkel, and Van Houten were the 3 women
3 women.
that were arrested along with Manson.
Okay.
Man, it's
So
fuck.
Manson he wasn't
They
in the murder?
they all got out though. They never were put to death.
Sure he is
How do
right
you get
now.
convicted for a death row and get out?
Fine. I gotta.
Are you serious right now?
He's already had multiple like El Chapo level escapes.
But he didn't. He never got out actually. But I think the women did. I'm pretty sure Krenwinkel and them. Maybe I don't know if Atkins ever did. Let's see. God damn it! I kind of want to fucking find that out now. I'm sorry, guys. I know we've gone fucking forever tonight. Like we've gone a long time, but
Where are you at? So, Manson, he's in jail, and he just stays in this jail.
They probably move him around.
Dude, Manson stayed in jail. He forever. Like he died in jail. I'm pretty sure.
Ah.
And illness and death on January 1st, 2017. Manson was being held at.
He was still alive
In 2017?
Yep.
2017. Bro, that's not too
He must have
long.
been like 80 something.
He was rushed to Mercy Hospital. I mean, he was old as fuck. Yeah, Mercy Hospital in downtown Bakersfield because he had gastrointestinal bleeding. A source told the L.A. Times that Manson was very ill, and TMZ reported that his doctors considered him too weak, in quotation marks, for surgery that normally would be performed in such cases as his. He was returned to prison on January 6th, and the nature of his treatment was not disclosed. On November 15th, 2017, an unauthorized source said that Manson had returned to the hospital in Bakersfield, but California Department of Corrections Rehabilitation did not confirm this. All right, whatever. He died from cardiac arrest resulting from respiratory failure brought on by colon cancer at the hospital on November 19th, 2017.
Damn, I'm surprised he lived for that long though.
Right?
Like,
He was born in 1934.
damn, bro. How the fuck he lived for that long, bro? How old was he?
80
Actually?
something years.
Yeah,
85,
something like that. 1934.
86,
That's when my mixtape dropped.
83.
83. I went the wrong way.
Damn.
Yeah,
83.
Fuck.
Damn.
the good die young, and the evil, the satanic
Exactly,
live
dude.
fucking
The
forever.
worst people live for fucking ever. This is the goddamn truth, man. All the
Yeah.
cool people are dead. That was the thing on one of my old podcasts. It was like, that was always the thing. Like, you know, that's the rule, man. Like, if you're cool, you fucking die, like, really early for whatever reason. And then if you suck ass, you just persist and bother all the rest of
it's
us.
the weirdest thing ever.
Like,
it really is the weirdest thing ever. Like, it's like, it's weird, so weird to think about because it's just like, it's true. Like, you really sit there and think about it, like, this is really true. Like, so many good people just pass away. Like, sometimes it'd be the most random things too. Like, or like, sometimes it's natural causes. Other times it's like, most of the time it's not though. Like, when I think of like someone dying like quick, it's like for them, like Paul Walker, the whole stunt, the accident. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like, bro, he was a good guy, great actor, and it's just like for him to just boom, car accident goes wrong, boom.
And
goes
it's,
away.
and it's similar thing with like Ryan Dunn, like the guy who was in Jackass.
Yeah,
like,
Jackass,
Like, you
yeah.
know, he like he fucking a similar thing with a car. You know what I mean? Like, and don't get me wrong. Like, people are like, well, he was being fucking stupid. It's like he was in Jackass.
Yeah, it's like
fucking
that's literally their whole thing.
That was
It's
the
like
life that
they're
he was
fucking-
living, man.
They're
Like,
literally stupid, but like
that's
it's
the
entertainment.
life, you know.
Yeah.
He's lived on the edge like that, man. Like, that's just crazy. Another thing though, it's like I guess like on that topic, it's like one of my favorite comedians, you know, and this is always so cliche, is Bill Hicks. He dies super young, but one of the things, he literally has a bit that talks about is, you know, everybody that's cool and like everybody that kind of gets us to forget about all the fucked up shit and she gets us to like realize that not to worry. All those people end up fucking just getting wiped out. It's like early.
sometimes
Musicians, you know, like fucking artists, like of all types. You know?
heavily, like musicians, like especially if they have like, especially when they come from like a tough past or like for example, biggest example for me, it's like this artist named X. You know what I'm saying? XXXTentacion or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Or like how this man was like, didn't have the best childhood. Was growing up doing, of course, dumb shit with his friend. And he didn't have the best childhood. And of course, all these allegations. And
He went
which
to
is a-
jail for some time for doing something crazy.
yeah, for doing something crazy. He was in jail. And then really when he literally started like changing his whole life around, like being way more positive, like actually being like very like, just had like this whole different mindset. Like you literally could see him like physically and mentally changing, like just like the person that he was, and he was becoming like way better. And next you know it, some dumbasses roll up on him, and you know
They pulled up on him at a motorcycle
he was shopping for a motorcycle.
Yeah.
store, and they saw that he had some designer bag,
Yeah, some designer bag.
and they
think
just
Yeah,
shot him up.
Yeah, he also had like
That's it.
he had like a
Like over some
For
dumb,
like,
it's like over some
for like
dumb
a couple
shit,
grand,
you know?
maybe
Yeah,
like
he had
2 or
like-
3 grand.
I think it was more than that because he was trying to buy a bike. So I think he's just trying to buy cash.
Something.
I think he had like a shit ton of money in there though. I can't
Yeah.
count. But they definitely seen like they saw the bag and they were just like, all right, this is our target.
Yeah, man.
And it's like, and I'm pretty sure they got fucked. Like
they
they're all-
caught
Yeah.
those guys.
Yeah, they got those guys. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, and it's funny because one of them literally like snitched on his other two homies. Like off rip, he was like, they did it. I didn't do anything. He tried to
Right.
like be like, oh, I didn't do nothing. Try to get like a lighter sentence or something, but he literally, if not, got worse than the other two, or just like either way, they all like got what they deserved. But
Dude, yeah, no, I mean,
it
you
sucks though
can't do
because he
that.
literally was bettering himself, like, and then out of nowhere, it just. And the thing is with me, like, he definitely like touched me a lot because I listened to his music a lot, and because it was just so like it just. Especially hard times, like, he was very like open to like emotions and his music, and that kind of powerful for me. Like that's like I guess corny or cliche for other people, but to me like
emo.
But
yeah.
but no, I didn't. It wasn't. He wanted like he sort of pioneered in a way that style, right?
Yeah.
Like he was
Yeah.
one of the guys that
For
was
sure.
like a lot of people copied that what he was fucking doing, like
Yeah.
with that style. I feel like
He was-
at least as I remember the progression of it. But like to be honest with you, I wasn't following it too heavy. But like
Yeah.
no, but I remember when like that shit happened, like all
Yeah.
that shit went down. Like I mean, that was
Man,
obviously
bro, like I remember like because he was
huge.
very underground, and then obviously of course he drops "Look at Me," and then that came out, and then that kind of like made him mainstream, and everybody was like, oh, who's this guy, and then checking out his older stuff, and then during the time, like I said, like he was going through a whole bunch of like there's a lot of bullshit that people were acting like. A lot of people were trying to like get on him because like allegations about like his like ex-wife or his girlfriend,
Ex-girlfriend.
so like
yeah.
that. Suppose like he like beat up on her or something.
There was a lot of allegations about him being domestically violent, and to be honest, if you look at him and his music, it kind of makes sense because all of his music that blew him up was just rage.
Yeah, it was just
I want to be in the mosh pit. Just
yeah,
boom,
it was like
boom,
literally
boom,
mosh
boom.
pit music, like rage, and like that's I'm telling you, like,
It's tough too though because you got to think about it, right? Like you think of Eminem, and his music and like how controversial like the fucked up shit he was saying in his music.
Yeah.
People were like suing him and like were accusing him of all sorts of
Yeah,
nasty
yeah.
shit. And I think sometimes I think it's unfair to judge an artist, like their work and to try and put like some personal shit on, and unless they're like outright just saying like I want to stab like this person, like specific, you know what I mean?
Like
Like
he started dissing everybody.
So I watched the documentary on Woodstock '99.
oh shit, nice, yeah.
So the previous Woodstock was what 60 something, 69 maybe.
Yeah. 16.
And the people that were there, they put it on. Of course, everyone in the crowd is all singing "Kumbaya." Everyone's holding hands. They're all happy. They're smoking weed. They're doing acid, whatever. But everyone is singing about peace, and they love it. Everyone, they're picnicking together. Everyone's having a great time. So they're like, that was really good. We should put it on again. Except it's 30 years later, 1999. What
gosh.
bands are out? What are popular? I don't know. Fuck it. Let's book them all. Let's book the most popular ones. Let's make this the best fucking concert you've ever seen. So, what they don't understand is the times have changed. The most popular bands are not singing about world peace anymore.
Yeah.
It's not coming from a war.
It's not fucking Jimi Hendrix, just playing like,
They're not
the
just
national anthem.
taking acid and listening to guitar rips. What they're doing is being emo little punk bitches, and a lot of the scene is like starting to head towards like really masculine,
Yeah.
and
exactly.
all the music is like, fuck you, fuck the machine, fuck everybody in the government,
Yeah, Rage
fuck
Against
all
the
of them.
Machine. Yeah, Rage Against
and they invite Korn, Limp Bizkit, some other rock bands. It's a 3-day event. Instead of people being nice and loving and peaceful and just picnicking around and having a great time, they lock everybody into this like airport. It's caged in basically,
Yeah.
and
There's 4
everybody's
stages.
like,
there's a north, a south, a east, and a west stage. There's 4 different fucking stages.
yeah.
Oh god.
So like,
You're locked in for 3 days. You have to buy their shitty water, all that.
Oh.
And you're listening to fucking heavy metal music 24/7. You're taking drugs. You're just shitting everywhere.
It's
Bro.
chaos.
So
What kind of
they
big-
didn't understand that you can't just leave fucking kids in a room with rock music
Nah, you can't
and
do
expect
that.
it to not be the Lord of the Flies.
Dude, it was crazy. But like the Korn performance, like the fucking intro where they start with Blind, like that's such a fucking great. The audience like is a sea of people. It's just like fucking
Yeah.
like when the shit drops and like kicks in, like it's just crazy, man.
One of my favorites is
I love
Limp
Korn,
Bizkit when
though.
they start performing and then fucking people start riding the crowd on like plywood that they ripped up from the fence.
Oh yeah.
Bro, I need to see that, bro.
They start bonfires because they're like, fuck this event, fuck everybody,
Dude,
fuck
Limp
everything.
Bizkit, yeah,
Bro,
started
I
a
need
riot.
to watch that,
Yeah.
bro. I gotta
It's
make
like you don't hire Limp Bizkit if you don't want to riot to start. I'm sorry.
They hadn't listened to any of the music, and everything was like, fuck you.
So they just booked all these like random artists, I
Well,
guess.
literally,
just all the popular ones.
Popular
Limp
ones.
Bizkit has a song literally called "Break Stuff."
Yeah.
It's called "Break Stuff," and so the song is about like just fighting.
Bro, I need to see that, bro. Like that sounds interesting.
Dude, I don't care, man. Limp Bizkit, they fucking kicked ass back in the day.
Yeah, in the documentary about Woodstock, they talked about Limp Bizkit and how he was a rapper, but the skating scene was coming up. And so he was like, I'm not gonna wear gold chains and all that. I'm just gonna wear some DC shoes,
Yeah.
a backwards cap, and just a shirt, and that's it.
Like a hoodie,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, hoodie
I'm just
and
gonna be his cool skater
Some baggy
dad.
pants, dude.
Yeah.
That's literally like kind of basically like my. And I hate this. This
So
makes
he
me
rode
sound
the
like a
wave.
totally douchebag, but like that's kind of
That's
basically
what
like
he
my style
wanted to be. Yeah.
of that I kind of wear. Like, you know, if I go out, you know, and just kind of my casual thing is like kind of like baggy jeans, skate shoes,
Yeah.
fucking hoodie, cap.
It's
You
like-
know,
Yeah, it's kind of like
Normal
whatever.
guy.
Kind of like more like a comfy like whatever. I don't really care.
There's this one guy. What's his name? He made the.
Is it the Don't Worry?
No,
I'm gangsta-
Superstar
I'm
Pride.
Yeah, Superstar
one?
Pride. Yeah, no more.
Um,
I am a gangster.
So he made this hit song like a couple months ago, and it's like #1 or something like
Yeah, it was
that.
like it's trending on TikTok. 'Cause everyone was
And
doing a trend. With
Come to
it.
find out, like a couple days ago, that he murdered his barber in like a serial killer
I heard
way.
about that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he he went out to like a field or something to meet him, just shot him a couple times, and then like disrespected his body, and then told his grandma or something, or his grandma saw, and then he just turned himself in.
Yeah, it was, you going
That's
he
insane,
said
bro.
he said himself, you're gonna live by the gun, you're gonna die by the gun. I don't know. Like he said in his lyrics, you're gonna live by the gun, you're gonna die by the gun. Like
There's one hit wonders, and then there's people that sabotage their fame because they're fucking psycho. I don't know.
yeah, it's very random because sometimes like a lot of them be having like some random ass backgrounds, and you truly at the end of the day like you truly don't know because these are like random ass people, right? Random artists, right? So you truly don't know like what they kind of been through or what they've done, or like if they have like a rough childhood, or if like they're actually fucked up people, because that's happened. Same thing happens with a lot of actors. Like a lot of people always put like actors and artists to such a high pedestal, and they think they're such this great person, and they have like this illusion of like, wow, like this is a great person, look how they interact with these fans, or they did this. And then like most of the time when they meet them, they're just assholes. Like, you know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
yeah.
same thing tend to happen with artists too. Like you just don't know. Most of the time they are assholes though. That's true.
I mean, too. So, like, this is fake. That's the thing. It's like, you know, and don't get me wrong. Sometimes, like, the interaction. I think some of these bigger artists, like the interaction with some of these fans, like fans can be so obsessive that can be like. I can't even imagine what that's like. I'm not like, I don't know, people are
Yeah.
obsessed with me like that. Fucking wish. And I'm just kidding. Because I'm sure there's a lot of stress
Yeah,
and
fuck
shit
that.
that comes with that. And like, you know, who knows what that experience is like to have people like obsessing over you and like trying to like find out like where you are like at all times.
Yeah,
and
where
shit,
you
know what I
live,
mean?
what
Like,
you're doing, who you
yeah,
with.
stalking you and stuff, and like, so, you know, there's there's all sorts of shit that comes with that, man. Like, fuck that.
Yeah, that's why a lot of times it's like, man, I'd rather just be rich than be famous, bro. Cause like you famous,
Find
bro.
a way to do that. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
just
why.
be
Why are
rich.
we doing a fucking podcast?
I struggle
man?
dealing with people
Yeah,
now.
I mean it's hard.
Now I
I'm
gotta
saying that's
deal
like,
with all these extra people.
I don't know, cause I feel like fame definitely overrated for sure. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like fame, like it's cool. I guess you're known, but it's just like most of the time when I see like a lot of these like, you know what I'm saying, I'm on YouTube a lot, so a lot of like these YouTubers, or you can even be like actors or artists or whatever. Like, a lot of them is like I feel like just get super overwhelmed, especially like YouTubers, right? Because they're just like this random person, you know what I'm saying, on a camera creating content, and then to have such a, like you said, like people that like literally derive fans that are, I guess you could call them stans or whatever.
Yeah.
Shout out to Eminem. No, he's not.
Yeah.
But stans that are literally
You
just
haven't called
obsessed over
back.
you.
I wrote you.
Yeah, yeah. Come back. I wrote you. They literally are obsessed with you, bro. Like you were saying earlier, like you just get so overwhelmed because you can't even like leave just to go like to a mall, or like you can't even go to a store just
Yeah.
like simple tasks. Like I'm over here thinking, I'm like, bro, I can't like imagine myself in that position, like knowing that like I can't even go and like, let's say I want to go and get a pizza or something. Like I can't even like knowing that I can't get there because someone's gonna might recognize me or spot me.
We low key do that to JP.
Oh yeah, true.
Whenever we see there's this dude, he's famous
Oh,
on
yeah.
TikTok
Oh,
and all that.
JP.
Yeah, we see him at the gym. We're like fanboying over him.
That's
He's
true,
really
bro.
just a dude.
He's really just dude.
He's
very
really
humble.
fucking good at what he does.
Yeah.
but-
Yeah.
Like,
And
We
I've
should just
ta-
treat him like a dude.
Yeah, I've managed to talk to him one time, because he was like in the locker room and people were chatting him up. I felt like that was like a good time to like, be able to like kind of say hi or say what's up, But like, I always feel weird about it, if you see him in the gym, like to go, I don't, just want to be like too familiar with people, you know what I mean? Because
It's weird because I feel like I know him, but obviously I've never
yeah.
had more than like a few
but you
second
see,
conversation.
his content, and he's talking directly
He
to
talks
you.
directly to me.
and
Yeah.
giving you really good information.
Yeah.
Because honestly, his advice is actually really helpful and shit. And like,
Yeah. A
uh,
lot of people shit on him, bro. Like, cause the whole, cause especially just the whole idea of like the whole optimal training and like, especially what he's talking about, like
They're haters.
You shouldn't do this.
Have you seen
and
his
that.
physique? His
Like,
physique.
yeah, he looks
He
good,
just
bro.
posted
Like,
it.
I
He
don't
looks
know.
fucking
I feel like-
amazing.
A lot of people be hating on him, bro. But like, I always like, there's crazy is like with JP, right? Is like, because when I first, I guess, find my first interaction with him, I think I was like, this is when I was working at Golds too, because I used to see him all the time come in like super late, maybe like 10:30 all the time. And then I was just like, yo, this is really JP. And that's when I around the time started watching his videos. And because prior to that, like before he even got on TikTok, I actually had him, like, not to flex or anything, but I had him
Knew him
on.
before it was cool.
I kind of knew him before, like he kind of had blown up in a way because like I don't know how I came across from him, like it was just random, like just like he just showed up randomly. This was before, like I said, like the amount of followers he has now in his building, basically how popular he is right now. And I remember like I can pull up a old Instagram.
This is his claim to fame.
I can pull up a whole old Instagram like video of me, like him just like commenting under my thing, like way before he was even known and stuff, because I knew that he was like a coach and that he strictly didn't really do like content and stuff like that.
Oh,
He was like
okay.
strictly just a coach. Like I remember he was building his clients and stuff. And there's even times where I even thought like the early days to even like actually join him, because I knew I wanted to like, say better myself, and I knew that he was very like certified, and like I knew he was like say good information and stuff like that. I was like, this guy's like pretty smart, like he has a good physique and all that. And then once when I finally had seen him at Goals, I was like, dude, I was like so nervous because like like you said, with the whole idea of like he feels like he's talking directly to you, like I was just so nervous because like I know he's like a regular dude, but it's just like, why am I kind of nervous to like just approach him, because I felt like he's probably gonna be like, because you just don't know with people, right? What if you just like,
Yeah.
ew, gross, like, or no, what like who is this guy, like get away from me, like, or just
Yeah.
you don't know what they're going through, like why is this guy coming up to me, or like, you know what I mean? So I'm sitting here like I'm here freaking out. I think I was with Jack. I don't know, Jack Brantley.
Yeah.
I was with Jack Brantley that day, and he kind of like gave me the courtesy, like, because he was fanboying. We were both kind of like fanboying with each other. I was like, bro, because I had seen him, like I said, prior, like many times before that. I just never had built the courage up to talk to him. And I'm just sitting here like, oh my gosh, like what do I do? Like this dude's like super known now. Like a lot of his videos are like getting up there, and like I don't want to seem like I'm one of those like people for clout, like they're just like approaching like, oh look, I met JP.
Right.
Yeah.
When I approached him, I was kind of nervous, but he was pretty good at being a celebrity at that point. So he was just like, hey man, I get it, I'm a little famous, how you doing, blah blah blah, and then he walked off and did his thing.
I'm trying to remember like, 'cause I kind of got into like rap late as a kid because I was heavy into like pop.
Okay.
Like I was heavy into pop, but when I mean pop, I mainly mean like Michael Jackson. I'm gonna be honest, like Michael
Oh.
Jackson type of pop.
Yeah.
That's
like,
not bad.
I love Michael. Like I literally had like an obsession with, okay, not obsession, but like yeah. But like
Yeah.
I loved Michael as a kid. You know what I'm saying? Especially like his music
He's the
videos.
king.
I was trying to dance like him. I was
King of
trying to,
pop,
you know what I'm
man.
saying? Like I was trying to
What do you think?
learn the choreographies and his like music
Moonwalking,
videos, like
yeah,
yeah,
shit,
like
man.
Thriller, and then the Beat It music video. Man, I love Michael, bro. Like, and
To
then
be
once
honest, I think I got into Kanye. I got into the old stuff, but probably around the time Life of Pablo's came out.
yeah, I think it's me too.
That album.
I think me too.
Probably like
Oh, okay.
2015, 2016.
Because I
Yeah,
knew of his
yeah.
I knew of his
So-
old stuff as well, but like I didn't like listen to it like crazy because like I said, like
My first rap album I got into was Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City.
ooh,
And
nice.
I was obsessed with it.
Yeah.
Dude, I
as
love
soon as
that
I heard
song.
it. So I learned the whole thing top to bottom.
Oh yeah. That's like, I feel like that's what.
But it's funny because I was a little good Christian kid and I only had Pandora
oh,
and it was the censored version of the whole album. So I didn't know what any of the words meant.
Oh shit.
So
nah,
yeah.
I remember like I guess my first introduction to Kendrick was like my 6th grade year, because I had like one of my boys was like, he kind of like put me on, and it was that song that he did with what was it, like Rihanna? No, it was like pull up, drink, sit down,
Drink. Swimming
yeah,
pools.
Yeah, swimming pools, and then also it was bitch don't kill my vibe. Bitch don't kill my vibe. Yeah, that song. I was like, yo, I was like, who is this dude? And they're like Kendrick Lamar. I was like, okay. I was like, this shit is fire. I'm saying, I'm over here like, bro, I'm like 12, bro. Like I'm like 11. I'm like 11, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I wasn't really into rap, so like they were putting me on to songs. Like I literally had no idea how to get into the genre. Like I'm sitting here like, bro, like I don't know any artists. Like because all I knew was like Michael. Maybe I also was
Whatever
into
your
some.
mom puts on.
Yeah, I was also into some old music too because my dad was like heavy into like Lionel Richie. He was into the Bee Gees.
Okay,
That's
so
true.
he had kind of like a decent foundation.
Yeah,
there.
kinda like
it's
a decent
good stuff. You know, like don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
Bee Gees are like definitely pop, but like you know, those are like those foundational songs. There, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Staying Alive. Like come on, like if you like the fucking bass line though to that fucking song. Dude, that fuck like come on. If you hear that shit, you don't move. Like you have no soul.
course.
We've been going for like fucking ever, but honestly, it's great. I mean, it's a great combo. We've been going.
Oh yeah, I don't mind at all.
We're like going. It was an hour 45. We got a little bit of a break in there, but still, like, it's,
Yeah, it hasn't felt like it, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like we've been talking. I felt like it was only like an hour had gone by. Like I didn't think it was gonna be.
it's like Oppenheimer for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
like,
fucking
dude, this
blowing
is
by,
dude. I
bro.
still have yet to see that though, man. Like,
Dude, it's honestly, it's more of a character driven thing. So it's like that to me. That's why it's like. It doesn't knock off the Dark Knight because like the Dark Knight's got some the action in that is just fucking amazing.
oh yeah, I feel like that's like a whole different category. I feel like it's kind of hard to put the Dark Knight like next to something.
Yeah, next to, like,
that's like
especially,
worthy.
like,
yeah, in
yeah.
a way, like it's kind of worthy. I feel like that alone is just has to be on its own. Like
Yeah.
I feel like when you start to drive like comparison, unless it's like maybe like related to Batman, but even that, it's like you look at the other Batman films, it can be very like biased, I guess, towards certain people because some people may have like attachment to certain films, or maybe they grew up just watching this one, or they get a chance to watch.
I've got an
some-
attachment to The Dark Knight just because of the Joker and how fucking brutally violent he is.
Oh yeah,
He's a psychopath and he plays mind games and like he like almost magic tricks, like where'd the pencil go?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
like,
Yep.
wham, you're dead.
Where the pants?
Wham, I've got grenades.
And he just like takes people hostage. Yeah,
Yeah.
man, they fucking
But I love the like psychotic like explanation in like Joaquin Phoenix's The Joker.
Oh yeah,
But I wanted some magic. I wanted some.
That was so
some fucking
Yeah,
violence.
fucking
It
sad.
was.
Yeah.
It was fucking sad.
It just was
And-
sad. It was like.
I'll be
really-
honest, I
Yeah,
really enjoyed
I
that
love-
movie. The little, his little dance, like
That
in
was-
the bathroom.
Yeah.
It was so random, but I did enjoy the take of Joker in that because I
Oh,
mean
yeah.
they said themselves was going to be a different take of it, regardless.
Yeah,
So when you
yeah.
already kind of have that
You
in
can't
mind,
try and do what Heath did.
Yeah,
Like,
a lot of
Heath
people-
Ledger crushed it. He did the best thing you're ever gonna do with it. Don't try and do
yeah,
that.
it's kind of the same way.
I think I
as-
took down tears from Joaquin Phoenix just because it wasn't as violent as I wanted it to be.
that's how I feel.
because
It all waited up till
Heath
the end.
Ledger's like masterful. Like he just pulls a rabbit out of the hat, and it's also got a gun.
Yeah.
You're
That's
dead.
what I'm saying. It's kind of hard, like
Kinda
say-
that.
like going back to the Dark Knight thing. That's why I feel like it's kind of hard to really like compare that with like Robert Pattinson's version, like his depiction, because that also was a different like you know what I'm saying depiction of the character of maybe more detective like early on Batman compared to Dark Knight being way more experienced, and especially that Joker that's been out there for who knows how long causing madness,
Right.
compared to this one where it's like Joker wasn't even like in that one, you know what I mean? So it's like it was the Riddler, and even a lot of people have given like slack for also too of the depiction of I guess the Riddler in that
Yeah,
movie because
you
he was
know.
like very I don't know, like it was kind of weird at times, like his character like he
They're trying to like kind of do a commentary, I think, on like modern times of like oh like this kid's got like some sort of developmental social disorder. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
they made him into like a cool online cult leader.
Yeah.
like
something
nerd.
that. Yeah.
But I feel like they should have leaned more into him being like a genius, because the Riddler's always been like one step ahead of the Batman. When
Right.
this
I mean, it
one,
kinda was.
this one,
Kinda was,
he
yeah.
was,
Blew those
he
bombs
was,
up, you know.
but it didn't feel like it. Like as soon as he got locked up, everyone kind of knew he was just kind of staying there for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, there's definitely like serious, like way more serious takes.
Whereas the Riddler would have like
A way
don't know.
out. He would think about
A fucking
getting his
trap
ass
door.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
something.
Well, it's funny too because like you think about like that. I do like that scene though that you see people
Or,
like
like-
using fucking reels where he's like going, oh, Whatever that fucking shit. That shit does crack me up. That's pretty good. I do like that. Paul Dano, he's not a bad actor. You know what I mean? I feel like he kind of is. It's just unfortunate that he just plays characters that are just so easy to hate. You know what I mean? It's just they're just annoying, and I don't know if that's like.
It kind of leans into
Paul
his
Dano's
like
not
real
annoying,
life
but-
character.
That he actually is just a horrible, annoying dude. It's
Yeah.
just like, I did like him in Little Miss Sunshine, but he actually just doesn't talk for most of the movies. So that's
Nice. It's just silence.
yeah. His like characters, refusing to talk.
Just his
basically.
presence. Just his presence alone is like, that's enough for me.
Yeah.
One of the guys in Oppenheimer, he's like so the guys who are protesting the atom bomb, he is the one who hands whatever his name is, Dr. Krauss, to the thing to sign, and he like dismisses him, but then he comes back later in the trial and like goes against him.
Oh, you're talking about Rami Malek.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rami Malek. He is disgusting looking, in my opinion.
Isn't that the dude
Anyways.
who played Freddie Mercury?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give you spoilers in Oppenheimer, but I'm just
okay,
saying
man.
in this movie I liked him, but it surprised me because in every other fucking movie I've seen him in, like the James Bond one,
Oh,
or I forget some other movie, but I fucking hated him. His character was poorly written, like he just got put in a bad spot.
I think he's a cool guy. I think he's a cool guy.
I haven't seen Freddie Mercury, so maybe that was my problem.
Bohemian Rhapsody. Didn't he win an Oscar for that?
Something.
I don't know. Actually, I think so.
I might be getting.
He does look kind of
mixed up
funny
with
because
somebody.
like
He looks like a chihuahua.
no, like it like speaking of you talking about how he looked, like if you watch that movie, you're probably gonna like look at it the same way and be like, why the fuck does he look like that? But it's like obviously he's like trying to depict Freddie Mercury. He was kind of like, you know what I mean? Like I don't know how to explain it. He's kind of like
he has fake teeth.
His
in that
eyes
movie.
always pop out a
fake
little bit
teeth,
too much.
and like
Yeah,
his eyes
no,
do kind of like are a little
He does have a bit of a look to him. You know, I agree. Like he doesn't look. Yeah, his proportions are. What do they call that ratio? This ratio theory of facial ratios.
He
and
looks
shit.
like a me character.
The golden facial. Yeah, me. Like somebody's fucked up ass me. I'm sure I could make a decent me of him. I have a Wii somewhere. It's probably in that box right there.
dude, I have a
Look
Wii
at
as
that.
well.
He still got an iPhone 4.
Dude, that's an iPhone 6, boy. I'm about to get on your shit. Bro, I was looking at these Game Boy games you had down here.
Oh yeah.
And it really had me thinking. I was like,
You better watch him.
I was like, yeah. I was like, I might finesse, bro. Nah, I'm playing. Nah, because like I'm like kind of heavy in a way into like collect. Like, I'm like as you say, I'm somewhat a collector, but not too crazy. Like,
Okay.
like I'm into like
Retro gaming.
yeah,
and
retro
stuff.
games, stuff like that. And I also like, especially during like my time, like my generation,
Back in my era.
back in my era, my time. Like
not,
I
like,
grew up
that
with like
much
you know what I'm
older.
saying, like because my first like I guess you could say portable. Like I guess that kind of got me into gaming, like portable wise, was like a Game Boy. It was like a Game Boy Advance SP, the one that was like a cube and it kind of flipped up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one that was able like it was obviously like I think it was right. It came out after the Game Boy Advance because obviously it was it was like
I'm pretty sure I had one of those.
it was after those, and I remember it was like mine was like a little baby blue one too. And obviously, it had the backlit compared to like the advanced, where it was like more clunky and like it needed batteries and all that. And this one you can
Advance
actually,
was wider. Yeah.
I guess you could
Because
say in the
before that
name.
was the Game Boy Color.
Yeah, the color.
Yeah.
Yeah, which also was somewhat kind of innovative to the last one, but it was just color.
I used to have the brick. I might have it. I don't know if I still have it. I might have thrown it out because like the thing was like so old, and I'm pretty sure it was broken. Like the screen was like busted on.
Oh,
or something.
gosh.
But
Yeah.
it was literally a fucking the gray brick original Game Boy.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Before we get into your amazing collection
my amazing collection of
of the
gaming
original
portable
Nintendo
consoles.
shit, my experience, I love retro gaming, but I also remember how much it fucking sucked.
in a way too. Yeah, I mean
It's
the
how
game.
hard it
Like
is.
my Game Boy was
Yeah, the-
always broken. The backlight didn't turn on,
What?
and
Sounds like a skill issue.
maybe it was a skill issue, but I like emulation now.
Yeah, I
just
didn't even
get
have
on
a
my PC.
backlight. I had to like put on the light in the car, and
Yeah.
my dad would yell
You were
at me
like-
and be like, "We're gonna get
I had
arrested."
some shitty little lamp for a book. You would
Yeah,
connect
yeah,
it to the
right.
back and like
Bro, your family did that too with the whole like when you turn on the car light and
Yeah.
they'd be
Get
like,
pulled over.
they'd be like, we get pulled over. They're gonna
Holy
give us,
shit.
They're gonna give us a ticket, bro.
it's
My parents,
illegal.
bro, they used to always say that shit. Like we turn on for a split second, used to be like, Cause I'd be in the car with my sister. She'd be like, stop. She's like, turn it off. Or my dad'd be like, turn it off. He's like, they're gonna give us a ticket, or like the cops are gonna pull. Like, bro, we used to every time for some
Has
reason.
anybody ever gotten a ticket from that?
Dude.
Like, I want to know.
Hell
like, if
no,
I
it's
post
not
this-
against the law to have your light on in the
light
car.
on in the car.
I'm gonna post this like clip online and be like, anybody out there, if you've gotten a ticket from having your stupid ass light on in your car, comment.
Like,
because
please,
people
please
believe
say
it's
so.
never
Please let-
happened.
yeah.
The
Please let us
only
know.
time it's ever happened is because you were obviously smoking weed or
Yeah, right.
or something racist. Yeah, that's like no one's getting pulled over for having the fucking light on.
Dude, that shit is so random, bro. Like, just to say, like, you're gonna get arrested for this light on. Like you said, unless you're like being like, I don't know, suspicious, or maybe you're flashing it, maybe playing with it or something. I don't
yeah,
know.
you're
Like
just waving a
in the-
gon around in the car.
Yeah, or something. Like
Yeah, just
you have like
driving
you have a
around,
laser.
like-
You're like, nah, just like going with a laser beam on it. Whatever. Like I don't
Yeah.
know. Just like I feel like when you
Maybe
if you-
one person happened to be speeding and like happened to have their light on.
And two, it's so okay. So let's say you flip the light on and you do get pulled over. What, like, just tell the cop. It's like, dude,
You like turn the light off real quick.
oh yeah, you go.
Yeah, and it's like
What's going on over
I
there?
pulled out the map. And like we're lost. Like what if we had to
Yeah.
look at it for a second? Like what? Like,
Oh, man.
How many excuses do you have? Rational, reasonable excuses you have to have the fucking light on when you're in the car. You know what I mean? Like there's plenty of things you can come up. I don't know. To
know-
me, it makes no sense that this would be wrong to do.
Yeah, I know
Like
sometimes.
I don't understand the fucking shit at all.
Yeah, I know sometimes in certain vehicles, like
It must have been like a campaign or something back in the day where they were like, keep the light off or go to jail or some shit like that. They played on TV that scared like an entire generation of moms and fucking
It must have been
dads.
just one really bad commercial.
Yeah, and it showed them like,
Like,
getting
but it
like,
was really catchy tune or something like that.
dying by firing squad or something. Because the way the reaction that was never to be proportionate to like what the fuck was going on. Like it was always way too over the top. They were just like, this is great. What are you doing? Like it's just like, it's a light.
it's like it's
Illumination. Have you heard of it? I'll just wrap up the show real quick. So at the end of the show, I usually just do this shield for the social media sites. It's just like
bet.
Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. At HistoricHole, you can find the fucking account. You can harass me. You can talk
Yeah.
all sorts of shit.
Follow that shit.
And follow. And
Hopefully-
then give 5 stars on iTunes. And I'll post some of it to Twitter. On Twitter, I just talk shit. So I don't post a lot of clips.
It's not
there.
Twitter anymore.
Dude, it's
I guess
X
it's-
actually,
they
bro.
changed it.
It's called X, bro.
I'd still Twitter on my phone. So until that app updates and changes the shit
Yeah,
all
for
the
me,
way,
actually, still is like the
it's
bird.
Twitter on my
Like,
phone.
it still says Twitter.
So I still have the bird.
Actually, X, bro.
But by the time this fucking airs, it's probably all going to be changed, which is so dumb. Like, X is fucking stupid. I'm sorry, dude.
It's so
Listen,
random too.
Elon's not like, I don't care about
Listen,
all this bullshit.
he
but like,
was a
God damn
guy-
it, dude, come on.
He's a memester, and he joked about buying Twitter. So then they threatened to send a lawsuit to him. So he was like, "All right, fuckers,
I'm just gonna buy it.
gonna buy it."
I'm just gonna buy it.
So now what?
And now that he's
Everybody
like,
got
and people were
fired,
praising him too.
And
though.
now he's like, "I'm gonna just change it because fuck you."
like I don't know. I feel like so many people were like praising him, especially like when he was mentioning when he first got it.
And I'm gonna UFC box the Mark
I'm gonna fight
Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg.
I'm gonna be honest. I think he's gonna get his ass whooped. I'm not gonna lie.
No, it's what happened.
Yeah,
is
he's a couch potato.
That's all I'm saying. Like Zuckerberg.
Grimes broke up with his ass, and he just went into a tower spot. I'm buying Twitter, I'm fighting Zuckerberg, I'm going
His
to
goth
Mars.
girlfriend left him.
He's going through it. For
Going to
real.
Mars. Don't talk to me, mom.
His kid's named fucking the alphabet. I don't know. XA12.
His fucking
X
mom's like
whatever,
on Twitter,
fuck.
like defending his ass and shit. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
tell your mom to shut the fuck up. Dude,
Yeah.
if my mom was on Twitter trying to like defend, I would.
I'd be mad at my mom, bro. I'd be like, Mom, stop responding to these
I'd
people,
be
bro.
so mad. I'd be like, Mom, shut up.
Nah, I say that. My mom beat my ass, bro. I told my mom to stop
Embarrassing me.
I told my mom to stop defending me. She'd be like, I remember that. I'm like, chill.
Embarrassing.
yeah.
Stop embarrassing me. in
My
front
mom
of
would take it
everybody.
personally if I told her like, yo, get off. She'd be like, I remember that. She's like, I'm not gonna make you dinner no more. I'm
Embarrassing
like,
me, mom.
I'm
Nah,
excited
just
for
kidding.
that fight though. It's gonna be hosted by Dana White.
Bro, Zuckerberg's
Mark
about that.
Zuckerberg. He's a little tiny dude. He's something like 5'3",
Okay.
but he's also like
It's a little Charles
150
Manson
pounds,
but bitch over here, right? Right.
and he's a robot, a lizard thing, who keeps barbecue sauce on the
Look,
goddamn shelf
look,
the thing
next
is-
to the books.
All I'm saying,
But he did this thing called, damn it, I forgot the name of it. But it's like you run a mile, you do 100 push-ups, you do like 200
Oh,
pull-ups,
that sounds.
100 crunches, and then you run another mile while within like 40 minutes.
some dumb shit.
I'm pretty sure
like-
Zuckerberg already had like I think he was already doing MMA or like
Yeah,
Yeah.
he does. Yeah,
Yeah, like karate or something. I don't know. He was already doing some sort of
BJ
training.
He does Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, Brazilian
Yeah.
Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah, he was already doing like MMA before like even this was announced. That's what I'm thinking. Like, bro, why would Elon do this to himself? Like, he's just asking for an ass whooping. Like, it's like
Elon tweeted that he was gonna, or I don't know if it was a tweet, but
Didn't Andrew Tate be like, "I will train you"? It's just like, dude,
What to Elon?
Yeah,
to be
Oh, I
like
didn't
a
see that.
alpha dog.
Oh yeah, I
He
didn't
told
see
Elon
that.
he would train him.
No, but I feel like even with the amount of
I
like
don't know who Elon's
the amount of
using,
training
He
that
said he was just gonna sit on Mark Zuckerberg, and that was his like.
Oh, I think I
final
seen that.
move.
I think I
He's just
seen
gonna
that.
lay on him like a
Nice,
whale.
bro. That's totally gonna work. That's totally gonna work. Totally. That's totally gonna work.
bro.
Squishes Zuck.
Zuck. Dude, you know what? Like, that would, certainly be entertaining, but, like, I don't know. It feels like it's probably going to be lame as fuck. Everyone's going to, like,
Of course it's
gonna
gonna be
the hype.
lame.
The hype's going to be so much, it'd be like, "Ugh," it's like a big old meme, and then it, like, happens. It's going to be like the Pacquiao-Mayweather fight, where, like, all this build-up, and, it's like Pacquiao, fucking Mayweather. And then, like, Pacquiao, like, has a shoulder injury, and it's, like, totally lame. And everyone's just like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, this is not at all
bro
entertaining.
fought
Yeah.
injured.
So, I feel like it would just be like that. They'd be like fucking like
Elon
pawing
Musk
at
is
each
gonna
other.
throw a rotator cuff just
Yeah, bro,
walking
don't
out-
even
getting
get
out
Right?
of bed.
Yeah, he'd get like injured in the first fucking
Yeah.
round or some shit.
Bro, don't get me started with Mayweather, bro.
You're like,
I'm a Mayweather hater, bro. I ain't gonna lie. But that's a different. That's for another day, bro.
He's a
I ain't gonna
dickhead.
lie. That's for
that's
another night.
another. It's a whole nother
That's
conversation.
for another conversation. But I will say one thing about Mayweather that he came out recently saying that he witnessed Tupac's murder. He just said he just never told nobody. Like he was there.
Oh yeah,
Because he said he was living like and that-
convenient.
he said he was
timing,
living.
bro.
Yeah, he was
Let me
living.
just choose something that no one can prove. I did that. I was there.
Like
I
he
was
read
there.
like recently came out with that. He was just like, it was like in a clip for something. I don't know what they're doing, like recording him or something. He was like, I actually was standing right here, like at this light is where Tupac got murdered. And he's like, and I was here. He's like, I witnessed it. He's like, I was living in this apartment, like way back, I guess back in, what is it? Was it 96? I think he passed away.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, it was like 96 or whatever. And then like, I was like, what? That's so random. Like, he's like, I just never told nobody. I was like, besides like my close friends and stuff. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
That's just so random to bring up, like in the moment.
Yeah,
like,
just to get some clout off of like Tupac's murder, like what, like 30 fucking years.
yeah, because
after
they were talking about something recently about I guess looking back, or like they were like something about like looking back at his case or something, or like the people.
Oh yeah, I heard that they were like
Yeah.
they raided some guy's house or something. They're like,
yeah, that
what-
like he
in
knew
connection with like,
or something.
yeah.
I'm like, bro, like
I thought we had Suge in the bag. I thought that's
yeah, me
what
too.
this whole thing
yeah, I
was.
thought it was like he did it. Boom, that's it.
Suge sent a hit out for him, and
I
boom.
mean,
he
yeah,
got
I
caught
mean
up.
it's fair to assume, that's the story. That's the word on the street, as they say.
Suge went
All right,
downhill.
you want to
bro.
wrap up?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up. So yeah, go give us all the clout and 5 stars and
Let's
bullshit
go.
and accolades. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Now it's time for ASMR.
Oh God, mac and cheese ASMR.
ASMR podcast.